Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be here? Your friendly Spielemeister, I guess. Because today we are carrying on with our ongoing adventure, playing Ulysses Spiele's outstanding dark fantasy RPG, The Dark Eye, aka Das Schwarze Auge. And with me today are the stars of our... so we're playing through, I should say, a lead-up to an adventure called Revelations from Heaven. We started playing this quite a few weeks ago, I guess, and then we decided to go back, and now that I'm more familiar with the setting, we're filling in some time leading up to that adventure. But it may contain some spoilers for that. If that doesn't bother you, well then let me introduce you to the stars of tonight's session. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight? First up, we've got John.
Hey everyone, I am John and I'm playing Thalion. He is a Middle Realmer human, Gildus Mage.
Very nice. Next up is Ingolf.
Yeah, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Korgrim, who is a Dwarven warrior.
Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and tonight I'm going to be playing Garen Bladebreaker.
Nice.
He was a sellsword.
Excellent. And gambler. Not very good at gambling, necessarily.
Terrible gambler.
So, last session was, we saw... I mentioned this before we went live, but what we elected to do in this game, we started playing the Revelations from Heaven, and we decided to skip back a little bit in time. We have had, over the last 3 sessions, characters arrive in, here is Angbar itself. So Angbar is the largest city in the Principality of Kosh, and I'll bring you over. I think Ingolf is the only one who will be able to read this map properly, but this is the Principality of Kosh here, or at least much of it. I said I wasn't going to cut and paste the tokens, and I forgot I didn't bring them over on this one. So, John, I've got some extra stuff that I've loaded since we played last time to help give you some context here. So this is, oops, not there. This here, wow.
Old map, love it.
This is the setting of the Dark Eye. The Dark Eye has 4 different continents on which adventures are set. The one we concern ourselves with is the one that has the majority of the material on Aventuria. Aventuria is this sprawling, complicated place with a very deep history. And the way, for the size of it, you can kind of think of Western Europe. This is about the size of what Aventuria is. Where your character is from and where our adventure takes place is in the Midden Realm, which is the largest imperial presence on Aventuria. But it has just gone through about 2.5 decades of catastrophic, tumultuous change, occasioned by a variety of, really a series of catastrophes that started with a single mage named Borbarad. There was this, in the setting, there are a variety of different kind of like evil things. There are demon-corrupted elves, there are demons themselves, and the cults that worship the archdemons. There is the nameless one that we spoke about in our first session, the 13th of the 12 gods that are sort of worshipped or recognized by the majority of Aventuria, although there are differences in faith around the continent. Borbarad is something separate and apart from that. Borbarad was a phenomenally powerful wizard who came and basically tried to take over, and came very close to taking over, the Midden Realm. The Midden Realm has been for, I believe it is 1,400 years, I want to say. About 1,000 years since the former empire collapsed. But after Borbarad was defeated, Things unfortunately did not end there. The thing that the demonic artifact that he used to help conquer the continent was then broken up into 7 pieces, and lieutenants each took possession of some of those, and there was a legacy called the Heptarchs. So once you thought that the Borberad was defeated, then they were dealing with his lieutenants. And when they were defeated, only recently, there are the lieutenants of the lieutenants who are still around. So the single party who is responsible for much of the tumult that the Midden Realm is dealing with right now all stems back to a single mage, Borberad, the Demon Master. You will notice that there is a place called the Shadowlands right in the middle of the Midden Realm. That is a legacy of Borberad's conquering efforts as well. A place that is plagued by undead and other terrible things. The island of Maraskan likewise was conquered by one of his lieutenants. And while Borberad and his threat has diminished, the consequence of most of the people, most of the adventurers that you'll see in Aventuria, is that they have all been touched by war in some capacity during the early years of their lifetime and in their lifetime. Because it has been just, it has not left any place untouched. Where our adventure takes place is in the Principality of Kosh, which is right here, which is one of the principalities and smaller units that make up the Midden Realm. That is this map right here. So this is Kosh right here. The things we, just for interest, Griffonsford up here is where Garen is from. Garen, you're from here, although your town has been wiped off the map by the Orcish invasions. Kosh, we had talked about a little in our first session, but John, Kosh is kind of intended to be, I think the way to think of it is, imagine if the Shire and the kind of the idea of the idyllic fantasy landscape, if it was written by a German instead of written by a Englishman. Because Kosh not only has that kind of idyllic quality, it also captures kind of the like Bavarian or Swiss ideal of like mountain towns and beautiful, valleys and things like that. An idea to give you a sense of what the larger regions, the mountains of Kosh, will look very much like that, complete with the dwarven settlements that are located there. In the south, there is the Great River Valley. Looks like that. It's one of the ways to navigate if you're not going over the Griffin Pass into North Marches, the neighboring principality. There is also in the lowlands, there's that very, the Shire by way of German, sensibilities comes in. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest adversaries of dwarves are dragons. Dragons and dwarves are... there is some tension between elves and dwarves in this setting, but that is due to more recent history. The animosity between dwarves and dragons dates back for thousands of years and into the distant ages. That's from dating back to one of the original kind of god dragons. Where you are from, so this is Kosh itself. I think that you may be from one of the eastern regions here. So the things that make up Kosh that are of the biggest significance right now, which you would have heard about of late, Angbar is the capital of the principality right here. I think it's Furdock maybe is near where you would have been apprenticed, because you're just apprenticed to one wizard. The Imperial Road would run along here, so you're off that, but it is one of the more, it's on a route where a lot of other roads are coming in on. The most significant local events that have happened, the Kosh not only owes its roots to Tolkien's vision of the Shire, it also kind of owes its roots to Tolkien's version of Moria. Because Koschim, so humans have been on the continent for about 3,000 years. They came from another continent and settled here. There are some other humans who came from elsewhere who have been here longer, but the people who make up the Midden Realm are predominantly people who came here about 3,000 years ago. The dwarves have been here for much, much longer. And around 4,000 years ago is where they fought the last of the major kind of fights against a terrible god dragon named Pirkador, who has twice tried to take over the position of the gods. When he did so last, in the age of kind of myth 4,000 years ago, he had a number of elemental allies that were aligned with him, and one of those was a phenomenally powerful firebird called the Alagrim. The Alagrim, you can kind of think of it as like a combination of Phoenix and Balrog, if you want.
Yes.
It was defeated, and after it was defeated, it was locked in a mystic prism under Koschim, the large settlement here. One of the dwarven kingdoms. The dwarves, although they are in the Midden Realm, they have been here longer than humans, so they are seen as kingdoms themselves. The Alagrim, while dwarves live long, 4,000 years is certainly enough time to have things kind of fade into myth, and so it was with the Alagrim. The Alagrim became this kind of like, if you're not good, the Alagrim will get you, and that was sort of the way it was until around 13 years ago, when a human mage, along with some traitor dwarves, snuck their way in to Koschim and somehow freed the Alagrim. Suffice it to say, the devastation that was brought to Koschim has effectively nearly devastated that. It's nearly erased it from existence. It only really perseveres because of the strength of character of its king, who himself owes his life to a human mage who just happened to be there, who happened to save his life, although he did not save his sight. The Alagrim then went to, after raising northern Kosh, made its way to Angbar. And at Angbar, while it raised 2 districts in that city, it was through the miraculous intervention of the god Ingerim, also known as Angrosh by the dwarves, that defeated the Alagrim, and the Alagrim was once again sealed under Koschim. That was 13 years ago. So your character, I think, is quite young, so this is stuff that is probably you read about and you heard about it. But what I think you were told by your master, who hired Corgrim to be your escort, because in these times, the northern bits of the northern realms here, northern duchies, have in no way, what is going on here? There we go. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the wrong button, expecting something here. These northern duchies have not recovered. In many cases, there are bandits, there are ogres, there are goblins, and other folks who have just made life very difficult for the folks who are trying to recover up here. Not helped by the fact that Garen's homeland has also seen orcs come in from here. So things have been rough in the north, and the, happy, bucolic, lifestyle that the folks in Kosh used to enjoy is very different for those living in the north now than it is for folks living elsewhere. You have heard about this stuff. You've not directly experienced it as of yet.
Okay.
But this is after Corgrim. This is after you have been home and have seen that. Corgrim served in fighting in the wars with Borbarat and the Heptarchs far in the east, and only recently returned, having not realized what had happened in the interim. So whatever mindset you want to be in, Corgrim, feel free to have that inform your role playing.
Yep.
But you guys have come to Angbar now. I want to show you a couple of pictures just to give you a sense of what Angbar. So this is, you can see the big body of water on the right there. That is Lake Angbar. Lake Angbar is a quite large, maybe one of the largest freshwater bodies in Aventuria, and it is well stocked with fish. It has a number of islands in it, and it's plied by a number of communities that are trading back and forth. So you really cannot see, if you've ever been in one of the cities in North America where there's a Great Lake and you can't see the other side of it, that is what Lake Angbar is very much like. The physiology, or the topography of physiology, the topography of Angbar, which is not really well depicted on the map, is there are 3 big hills that make up the city. So even though it is in the foothills, there are 3 prominent kind of rises. So you can picture this city that's been sprawled out here and rebuilt. It is in the midst of 3 large hills that make up different parts of the city around which it has been built. This is I think a good typical street scene to get in your mind when you're navigating through Angbar. Angbar is very busy, and one thing that I think you would know this as well, Talion, but Kosh in general, and Angbar in particular, they're about a quarter of the population are hill dwarves. So 1 in every 4 people that you see is a dwarf. Another curious thing about Kosh is it's very noisy because the amount of, Angbar, very noisy because of the production and whatnot that goes on. But when quitting time happens and the bell rings, everybody stops. So it is orderly in that way as well. There's also a great deal of money, and they say that only the god Prios knows all the laws that govern Angbar. It is a trade-heavy place, and in addition to Prios, the sun god and kind of the chief of the 12 gods, Fex, the god of thieves and opportunists, is worshipped in his guise as someone who benefits trade. But the most important god in here is Ingerim, also known as Angrosh, and that is his mighty temple. The god of craftsmanship. This is the central temple for Ingerim's or Angrosh's church across Aventuria. Each of the 12 gods has one kind of key location where their most important cathedral's located. Ingerim's is here. Although locals call him Angrosh as the dwarves do. The dwarves have such a close association with him, they actually call themselves the Angrasheen. So, that is the big city that you were coming to. The reason I wanted you to understand some of that other stuff is, well, for one, I just like talking about the Dark Eye setting because I think it's super fucking cool. But more importantly, for your role-playing, John, Talion has been sent because of your knowledge. Now, you may remember from the first time we kind of improvised a reason for you to be with everyone, but we're going to dig in a little deeper into that specific thing. I mentioned that there was a human mage who is said to have freed the Allegrim. Her name is Carissia von Salmingen, and that is her right there.
Okay.
I also have here an article from the Aventurian Herald. Now, the Aventurian Herald is a thing that is published across the continent. It is a really neat thing. You know how the Pathfinder Journal helps sort of like flesh out what's happened or what's happening in a campaign? Imagine that, but like something that is published regularly for 30 years and expands out what's happening in the setting. That is what the Aventurian Herald is. It's an in-universe text of events that are happening across the continent. What this one speaks of is how Carissia was seen recently. Now, the impact of Carissia's actions on the dwarves of Koshchim and the northern Kosh and Angbar is pretty significant. But there's something else she did. And that was about, I think it's 2 years prior to our adventure, when the Prince of Kosh was going to move back in to the princely residence in Angbar. Carissia poisoned the Queen Mother. His mother was kind of seen as like a gray eminence. She was sort of understood to be sort of the iron behind the throne kind of thing here. Not necessarily beloved by everyone, but certainly respected. She was murdered by Carissia. And as a result of that, there's a secret pact among some nobles to try and bring her to justice. And 6 months ago, she was seen, as is set out in this article, as having purchased something or trying to purchase something to enchant. So they know she's still around. They know she is still up to no good. And the reason I mentioned the Borbarad before is because one of the lieutenants of that was an undead dragon. The one responsible for tearing a hole through to the netherworld and letting all that undead spill out into the Shadowlands. She is a disciple of him. She was seen 6 months ago. And in the course of digging out the rubble of what was left behind in Koshchim when the Allegram was released, they believe they may have come across evidence of how she got in and how she freed the Allegram. But the dwarves, they do not have anyone specifically skilled enough in order to study that. So it seems as if there is some local noble, someone that your principal speaks highly of. You have not met this person yet, but he's referred to him as Voltan von Falkenhag. Voltan von Falkenhag is the mage who saved the life of the king of Koshchim. So, whether this is further paying back to his dwarven friend, or whether it is just simply trying to find ways to get back to Carissia von Salmengen, it's unknown, but that is what you're going to be done. Apparently, they want you to meet up with someone in Angbar and then travel up to Koshchim and see what you can learn from this. So it's an enormous amount of responsibility, and this is for one of the most influential. While Voltan von Falkenhag does not necessarily have a great deal of influence himself, his nephew, the Count of C, Count Wilbur Arbelius, definitely has a lot of political clout. So that may be why either your master is thinking that you would be good for this, or perhaps it just might be good for you to be thrown in with some very important people. Do you have any questions for your master before you set out, Talion?
Not that's coming to mind. He's given me a pretty substantial mission, putting a lot of trust on my shoulders.
feel you are capable of it, particularly given your scholarly bent. If there is information to be learned from whatever markings Carissa left behind. The other tidbit, there is a dwarf whose name, let's see here. So there aren't, in the setting, there aren't dark dwarves in the sense of like a different species that has different things. What dark dwarves are is basically renegades and outcasts from dwarvish society. They're not like a subspecies of them. But there is a dark dwarf whose name is... Where is it here? It is Gitamon, son of Gillam. Oh, maybe that's Gillamon. Gillamon, son of Gillam. I'll put that in chat because I don't have a handout for that yet.
Making some notes in my character sheet, just in case I forget.
Gillamon, son of Gillam, is the renegade dwarf that is said to have helped Carissa and her robber knight allies gain access. Traitor indeed. And Gillamon has been sighted in and around the area of Vengenholm, one of the places you're going to need to stop before you head up to Costume. Not for nothing, Gillamon used to serve the master of Vengenholm, one that was cast out due to political complications that you do not need to worry yourself with, but it's not surprising that this dark dwarf has found his way back there. The reason your master felt it was important to know that is because if Gillamon is active there again, there may be... He was allied with Carissa at one point. So, whether there is information to be learned from that, whether there is some stratagem to try and prevent that, or if they are trying to free the Allegrim yet again, who knows?
Gotcha.
There is no depth to the depravity of the mind of Carissa von Salmongen.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Well, I'll first need to go investigate, and then once I'm on the trail, I'll need suitable assistance to...
Well, you need to meet with Voltan. Voltan von Falkenhag will kind of check you out, as it were. Some mages have the benefit of kind of the name of their education. They can stand behind their college. And Voltan von Falkenhag is one of the most, if not one of the most influential mages in the Principality of Kosh, if not the Midden Realm. He's even said to have dabbled in imperial politics at one point. It either speaks to the value of your... well, I mean, for one, it speaks to the influence of your master, that this guy sought, well, like, accepted his recommendation for you to go and help out with this task. But he did say still, while he has my name to speak for your capabilities, you don't have the name of a college behind you to rely on.
That is correct.
So there will be you may encounter some necessity to prove yourself. And the person he hired is actually another Koshite, a dwarf named Korgrim. Why don't you tell John, what kind of impression did Korgrim make on Talion at first? Ingolf?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just wondering what. Yeah, I'm sorry. So could you repeat the question? I was.
Of course,
just,
yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
I mean, it's in the middle of the fucking night your time, so.
Yeah, no. I was thinking how this mage is related to his brother, who turned out to be someone else, but. Was just following this trail.
It's so cool. Like, honestly, like the first time when we were talking about Volt, I went so overboard with Jeff and Dave that like I put because there's so much really fucking cool information that's out there about this dude. And I'm like, okay, I'm spending like an hour-long lecture to give you context for a guy that you're going to say hi to for a little bit, talk to for a bit, and get a job from.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. I just got carried away.
No, he's I really love the setting. So the well, my question is what kind of impression does Corgrim make on Talion the first time? So you guys are leaving. I think we said was.
Yeah. I think he was very concerned about his home and the state of the dwarven realms, and somehow he is still. I mean, that hurt and the scars of the war against the Alagrim are obvious to see everywhere.
Yeah.
But then again, he is proud. So the thing is that the human highest cleric of Ingrim of Ankosh was like the hero who banned this Alagrim, and so he was kind of declared an honorary dwarf. So and then he's proud of the people in Kosh who stood together.
Yeah.
Humans and dwarves, and so I think he's well. We have to get rid of these traitors who unleashed this beast, and so he will work with anyone who has any intention of going after them. So if I know that Talion is somehow even remotely going after the guys who are responsible for that, he would. He's full in.
Yeah,
like with heart and soul.
So perhaps Corgrim actually may have been King. So Gillimon is the Mountain King. I fucked that up. The Dark Dwarf is where the heck is he? Oh, Drogosh. So Gillimon, son of Gillim, is the Blind King. He's the King of Costume. So I got that wrong. It is Drogosh, son of Dern. He is the traitor, the Dark Dwarf.
Okay, so yeah.
Gillimon is Mountain King, Dragon Slayer, Lord of the Gargalax clan. So perhaps it's King Gillimon or his agents who maybe arranged for you to travel down, so you could safely see this expert back to meet with Voltan von Falkenhag. So perhaps you've met with him already, Corgrim, with Voltan.
Yes, maybe, or just been in contact and not met him in person. Maybe just exchanged something.
Yeah. Because we say the reveal for the illustration because the illustration is so good. I was checking to see if let's see here. I was checking I haven't translated the. I've been spending time with Google Translate to translate my German language version of Die Flusslands to English so I can make use of it, but I haven't done it for your town where you're from, Talion. So I can't remember if there's anything particular about it, but it is a smaller city than Angbar. One thing you would have picked up too, Corgrim, is that Angbar, you would honestly not know that the Alagrim attacked. They have done such a good job of rebuilding everything. So I don't know whether there was a moment where you thought that maybe it's not as bad as I thought, but then when you got to Costume and you saw that, like, there is 10% at best of the city that is left. And in its best times, too, this is... Where is it? Here we go. This is what Costume looked like in better times. And there are mountain highways all along the Kosh Mountains that allow dwarves to travel through there and have for thousands of years. But, so Corgrim and Talion, you would have spent probably about maybe 3 days, I think, on the road, traveling from oh gosh, I might as well just look again, because I have forgotten. Furdok, right, to Angbar.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Furdok is where all the beer is from. So it's,
oh, nice. Okay, great.
yeah,
great,
yeah.
great.
So the Furdok is like all the beer in the region is from Furdok.
Nice. So the Furdok is you'll have traveled up down to Steinbrücken, and then from there the Imperial Road down into Angbar. Talion, what do you think your first impression of the sprawling city of Angbar was?
It's probably a lot bigger than what he's used to. Quite a bit bigger, and a lot crowded. He's probably a little unnerved and also equally curious because with so many people, there's got to be a lot of knowledge stored somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably just a little bit overwhelmed from the big city.
Yeah, and it's a very bustling place too. Like for I don't know what you may have had in your mind for the impact of the Allegrim. It's one of those things that would only like live in the abstract or in the kind of folktale kind of thing for you if you were locked away in your magical studies. But there's nothing here that suggests that's that there's been any damage. No place you've seen has obvious damage from the Allegrim any longer.
That's good. I mean, we swing back so quickly, but I think Thalion's like fascinated with beasts of legend like the Allegrim. Like one part of him just wants to see it himself.
Yeah, and the idea too that costume, like before any of this was ever here, although this was originally a dwarven settlement, it's named after a dwarven king. Before humans ever came here, they were already for 1,000 years, for as long as the Midden Realm has lived, the dwarves had already been there in the mountains of Kosh. So the things you may find in there will be unthinkably old as well. And it's interesting that you may have an interest in that as well, because the binding of the Allegrim will be something that will be magic from, again, 4,000 years ago. So, how do you think the two of you got along on the trip?
Depends if the dwarf likes sullen silences or not.
Yeah, I mean, I can only do grumpy and more grumpy. So that's the two states of being. So yeah, I mean, I think if you don't say anything, that would be totally fine. But I will murmur and complain to myself then.
Well, Thalion is quite eager to learn about the outside world and get information, especially from the dwarves. So he might just be slightly annoying and pestering you to dig a little deeper.
Yeah. Well, certainly. So I mean, yeah. I can try to convince you of the real dwarven ways. I mean, we have to be overground now. That is unfortunate, but yeah. We will soon be back in the mountain, and then everything is fine.
Yeah, he tries to pester you for all your like dwarven histories and fantastical tales of the beasts under the ground.
Yeah.
Korgrim fought.
I think I don't know so much actually about that. So I mean, his stories will repeat, and the details may vary and even contradict themselves because I make them up on the spot, I suppose.
What he could tell you about is that it seems as if, much as he left the war behind and came, or the wars, I guess, in the east behind, and to return to Costume, he found, even here in the northern regions, there was like the reach of that empire, because he had run into a basically cursed artifact that led to some really horrific murders.
Really?
Yeah. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, at another time, but for...
Yes. So, yeah, and I mean, somehow we have to cleanse the lands of the evil, or the remains of the evil that still linger around.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I mean, he will not be. There's this magic, but then there is beasts you can just hit with your hammer or so, and these are more his style. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you arrive in Angbar, I think you guys are you're known to send word to the or to leave word at some more upscale establishment, probably it may actually be at the home of one of the visiting nobility, and one of the local kind of minor nobility, but you guys will be responsible for kind of finding your own place. And I think it is up. Well, what would you be looking for? Somewhere upscale, somewhere cheap, or somewhere?
I think that would depend on how well my master kept my room and board at the tower, whether I'm used to.
How much were you sent away with? You've got. Let's see here.
Let's see. Equipment. 50 silver tailors.
Okay, so a silver tailor is. Let's see here. I love in the GM screen comes with an Inns and Taverns book, little booklet that has a bunch of great stuff in it.
So, Telling would be interested in spending most of his money on books or things related to knowledge.
Mm-hmm. One thing, there is, there's not a library here. One of the interesting things you would find here, there is both a school of sappers. So it may not surprise you to learn that warfare among castles and keeps and stuff like that, military engineers can play a pretty significant role in those. So there is a school of sappers that has been here for centuries that has only recently been kind of restarted. And there is a group of riflemen as well that have a new unit that has been set up in here. And I don't think there is either. So the Ingolf, the goddess of magic and learning, is
Pereine or something. Pereine, whatever you call it, or Hisinda. I don't know. No,
Hisinda. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
So yeah, I used to know this, but
yeah, Hisinda is the goddess of magic and knowledge, and her priesthoods are often great places to gain access to, like libraries and stuff like that. I don't think there is one necessarily here, though. Her worship is not. She'll have a shrine here somewhere, but it won't be. It won't be as prominent as like what Prios, Fex, and Ingerim, aka Angrash, will be.
Gotcha.
I was double checking here. So I thought I read something about a library, but I might be thinking of something else. In any event, there will be scholars in the employ of different guilds. One thing you find as you get into town is, at first you perhaps mistake it. Or here, why don't we do this? Let's get some dice rolling. Why don't you give us a, let's see here.
So there seems to be a temple at T3, Temple of Hisinda.
Oh, there is one. Okay, awesome. Hold up. T3, that would be in, what district? Let's see here. Oh, because it's a temple.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah. You know what? Let me take a look for Cinda.
Here it is. This there. So you can see it on
Yes.
the map. I'm pinging it.
So the Temple of Hysinda, that's interesting. So the Temple of Hysinda is actually outside of the walls, and it is where there is a big open field called the Broadles Green, which nightly tournaments and popular games are held. So it is, what did it say,
T3 here. So I'm pinging on the map. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah, wow. Okay, so that's different from what it said in the... Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the green. So, yeah, so actually then that means there is a place. And I mean, the Temple of Hysinda, not for nothing, John, we mentioned before, too, you cannot play a character who is both a mage and a priest unless you are a priest of Hysinda.
I think I wrote that on my character sheet.
I had a feeling you might have. So if you want to make the check in there, but one of the things that you would be surprised by is that there are a lot of markings in here, and if you think that if the impression is that, oh, we were going to make a roll.
Yes.
Why don't you give us a history check, please, at, let's set it at, where's my GM screen? Let's set it very easy.
Okay. Normal, very easy. Check.
That's great. 3. So what you see, there is a bunch of folks who are making their way through here who all have different kind of markings on them, and you may have at first, or someone who is not as educated as you. As a reminder, John, what the quality level tells us is basically if you get more than 1, it only comes if you've got training in the actual skill, and each of those is an increment of 3 over what you needed. So it's whatever skills you got left over. 3 is halfway to as good as it gets with skill checks. So you clearly did some work. What you know is in other cities, folks may be flying like noble house colors or local, colors that sort of align themselves with different things. These are merchant houses. There are different merchant houses and guilds that dominate here. So what you've heard about Angbar being a center of trade and commerce very much leads up. These people are almost like gangs in the way that they've marked themselves and affiliated themselves with the different groups.
Okay.
If you guys check in at first, what you will be told is that there are 2 people who have been commissioned to accompany you to the up to Vengenholm and then Koschim. A human or a human mercenary from the what was it? Griffinbad?
Griffin's Fort or something.
Griffin's Fort, right? And a blessed one of what is her name?
Rondra, maybe?
Rondra, yes. The goddess of war. That's Dave's character. While the priestess of the Blessed One of Rondra is staying with her fellow devotees at the Temple of the Dragon Slayer, Garen has located himself at an inn called the Last Junk, which is located in Lakeview.
That sounds seedy.
It might, if not for the fact that the Junkers is actually a pretty important part of trade in the mountainous regions, because it's a nickname given to the folks who basically fill up massive wicker baskets, carry them on their back, and then conduct trade amongst the villages and communities, all in the northern regions. It's very difficult for carts to make their way up there, so the Junkers are a very important part of this. This is sort of maybe named after that. So,
Okay.
They give you the name. His name is Garen Bladebreaker. And let's see here, I think you guys have knowledge, or if you could give us a knowledge warfare check, please. And this will be at, I think it'll be at easy.
Well, I'm untrained, so.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, so you're not sure of it. Although I think you only failed on that one, Talion. Yeah, it was only your, that intuition is the one that failed.
Yeah.
That's how Corgrim does.
Oh,
sorry, you click on the, I think it's the dice in order to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The colored
Okay.
dice.
Yeah.
It's not a routine check.
Yeah. So easy. So. Oh, that is a.
Would you care to spend? So one of these we didn't do last time is that I'm give you, like, if you're at your max, you're not going to get any back. You're going to get a fate point back every hour.
Yeah. Okay.
So Corgrim, would you care to re-roll that?
Yeah. So Corgrim actually has a negative trait, so to speak, a negative feat, which is bad luck, and. I think maybe I won't re-roll it because it's very in character that he has something made up maybe, and he just confuses everything with that.
So here's what you know then, Corgrim, and you can feel free to roleplay this accordingly. You know that the Bladebreakers is a fairly notorious mercenary band. And one of the things that, because the people who tend to join mercenary groups, they're either robber knights who have given up their family names because they're cast out by them or whatever, or it's just violent young people who are drawn into the groups and then are trained within. Because they have left their lives and whatnot behind, it's not uncommon for members of those groups to adopt the name as their surname, as a point of pride and a part of things. The Bladebreakers are among the most ruthless and, like, pillaging, and, like, the very worst of the mercenaries, barely under control, routinely use excessive violence and other kind of terror tactics, drunkards, kidnappers.
Yes,
the Bladebreakers are among the worst of the fucking worst. So what is Voltan von Falkenhag thinking hiring a Bladebreaker?
Yeah. That is exactly. Maybe he uses a traitor to find a traitor. So that is.
Perhaps. Although it does make sense why you'd be staying at a place like the Last Junk if it's a Bladebreaker.
Yeah, totally. I think I would try to convince Talion that everything we just heard is true. I mean,
so you're given the name of this, and what is Corgrim? Let's put us in the scene of this. Like you arrive at the place, they tell you where to stay, who your other companions are and where you'll be staying. It's probably like a seneschal or an aide of some kind to Falkenhag. And he tells you who this person is. What is Corgrim's reaction?
I just make sure. So you say Bladebreaker, really? So like Bladebreaker, like the Bladebreakers.
He looks at his notes. I believe I have that right, sir. Are you familiar with him?
No, I don't know his name, but I mean, the name Bladebreaker speaks for itself. So this is really the company or the people we trust now. So times are really dark, I suppose.
Why don't you give us a... Let's see. Talion, would you give us an easy empathy check? And I think, Corgrim, give us a easy intimidate check.
Empathy.
Empathy under social... Both those are under social skills. Nice. So, as you're saying this, Corgrim, your voice is getting... I mean, I picture you're a dwarf, so it's kind of like the thing that afflicts me, where there's no inside voice. You kind of have that situation as well, where it's, And then you also seem even more agitated than usual. And Talion, you can definitely pick up something has really upset Corgrim here. And to the point where, like, you can see that as he's clearly trying to make sure he's talking to this seneschal closely so he can hear him. But the seneschal is kind of like slowly moving back, and Corgrim's moving him in. And very soon, this very heavily armored dwarf is going to have cornered this poor page. It's
well, don't axe the messenger there. I don't think it's his fault.
One thing we talked about before in a recent session, but I don't think with either of you guys, the Church of Rondra is the goddess of war. But there are different. In one of the cool things about the setting is that each of the churches has different like sub factions and different kind of interpretations of the faith. And Rondra, there are some among there you would think of as like the classic paladins. They're the ones who want to be protective of other people, and they want to, they're the ones who stand in the way of danger for the meek and the small. But there are some who believe that Rondra favors the strong. And the meek the weak are not favored by her, and they owe obedience to the strong. So part of this also may be, even though they've said, oh, it's a blessed one of Rondra, Corgrim, if this is who they've allied with, like, you probably saw some of the more elitist versions of the Church of Rondra in the East. So, like, this may be who they've allied themselves with, is a fucking terror, with the support of a god and a, scrupulous mercenary.
Yeah, I'm very... I look at Helen. Are you really sure about those guys?
I'm not sure about any of them.
So the
but I guess you're right. I shouldn't. So stand straight, man. I would just try to scold the seneschal for backing off. I mean, it was his fault.
I believe the Duke wishes for you to meet with Garen, Mr. Garen. He's not going to say the last name again because it seems to really upset the dwarf. Meet with Mr. Garen there, and I think then tomorrow the Duke will send for you, and we can fully you can fully discuss, as well as raise any concerns that you may have with the assistance that has been secured.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So Corgrim definitely seems to have something's bugging him, obviously, about this, like more so than just, you've never heard of the Blade Breakers before, so you don't know, but so John, just because it's a video game content, and there is one of the Dark Eye video games is set in one of the cities in the Shadowlands after the fall of Borberad, and it gives you some insight into what the bad side of the Church of Rondra are, and they can be just like fucking pricks. There can also be very generous and helpful people among them too, but it makes for a much more complex version of a faith in a fantasy setting. Do you remember Ingo? I can't remember if it's Demon something or other in English. The video game, it's the one that came out, it's the Dark Eye video game that came out that was set in the Shadowlands?
Drakensang, maybe?
No, those ones are set actually in Kosh.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll look on the break, but in any event, the reason I mentioned it to you, John, is because it's actually it's got a lot of similarities to Dragon Age Origins in the sense of like gameplay and stuff like that. So, yeah. Corgrim, what is Talion? Are you even like waiting for Talion at this point, or are you just too angry so you're just kind of expecting he'll follow you?
No, I think I will wait for him because, I mean, he is providing money, so I think I will wait for the guy who pays me, but then I have my own
But
opinions
he's not
about how
paid
to
you.
run.
You're in service to King Gillimon.
Okay, so then I would just grab him and move him along because we don't have to wait here. So let's come on.
I'll definitely follow along. I'm not going to resist at all.
All right. So, Jeff, we're going to assume that this is like the day after the events of last night. So,
Okay.
last session was last evening. You may remember you met a couple of other adventurers. What I'm going to assume is that Gilvana is laid up trying to get medical attention because she was pretty badly injured last time. And you have yet to meet up with Siberian Harnishmacher again, the exorcist. So,
Right.
and your colleague, Elwene, has still not returned to you. I mean, you haven't been sent for, so she may be with the other Blessed Ones of Rondra and dealing with, whatever they do.
Right.
So, what would you be doing to kill your time? He asked, knowing the answer.
Yeah.
Gambling?
He's probably just hanging out in the tavern waiting for everybody. Where else does a guy go,
Yeah. So I'm waiting to do a summary so that you can kind of do it. And I'll help out because I know it's been a week and it's been a long week for you. But we'll kind of say what happened last time once you meet up with these two.
Yeah.
Okay. So this, I think I can herd.
This can only go wrong. It can't be done.
Ian Gold was not second, but I picked up that the whatever is it, the Helgen book of the Helgen or something like that.
Buch der Helden, yeah.
Book der Helgen. Fucking amazing. 400 pages, full color, gorgeous illustrations, and tons of new professions. Amazing. Like, I want this book in English. I'm able to make use of it because of the Google Translate set, but boy, do I want that in fucking English. It's got so much good stuff in it. Talion and Corgrim, where you're meeting up with them at the last junk, let me give you a little bit of information about the district. So this is in Lakeview. Lakeview may not be a surprise, is viewing out over Lake Angbaran. Angbaran Lake, sorry. It has been rebuilt, but it's also sort of, it's very near a slum. And this is where, like, there is an orphanage that is located in here. There is a hospital for the poor located in here as well. So it's been rebuilt to be another kind of shabby place. One of the jokes we have in Calgary is because of we've had different, when there's been an oil boom, there's been booms in building, and you can kind of tell when a building has been built during that time, it's going to be shit. So if you're buying a condo that was built in the 80s, it's going to be shit because it was built during the boom when they didn't have enough skilled people and shit like that. You can picture that's what this neighborhood is like too. Built up quickly for cheap to give the appearance of being good, but it's a bit of a shithole. This is when you walk into the last junk. What, you've been given the name of this notorious mercenary band member. How do you guys find this person in the tavern?
Well, obviously I'm looking for the scariest guy in here.
Okay. Why don't you give us let's see here. Give us an empathy check. And I think it'll be challenging.
About what time of the day is it, Kevin?
Probably like midday.
Oh, it's just midday. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in great shape then.
So you're looking around for the scariest person in here, Talion, and 2 quality success levels. You like you identify a couple of potential targets. But I think, Garen, so one of the things you were told before was that you were waiting for a mage, right?
Yes, I do know it's a mage.
Yeah, so you can see there is a guy, one of the things that, there's what if a mage, one of the things that most mages who go to colleges or, study with independent masters, they have a staff. And it is a staff that is specifically enchanted, so it is indestructible. So if you effectively indestructible. If you see someone with a staff or perhaps an enchanted sword, you can kind of guess they're a mage. They also tend to dress in a specific way. And mages are a bit unusual. While there are tons of dwarves in Angbar, mages are not quite as common. And there is a mage who is here. And he seems to be kind of surveying the crowd and giving that look of like trying to not trying to find somewhere to sit, but somewhere to see. And I think when you lock eyes with him, there's this bit of like, you guys obviously don't know one another, but you can see someone who's looking for something and someone who has been looking, been waiting for someone. So with your 2 quality levels of empathy, you kind of think like, maybe it's not the scariest guy I'm looking for here.
I also think that Garen would have some kind of a hand gesture that he would do. I don't know, something magey for this world. Like, I don't know if they do like, gesturing to cast their spells or whatever.
Yep, depending on the tradition that they come from.
So Garen would do some kind of a wave that would be very like, are you a mage kind of a wave? Yeah. Hey. Give him a wave like he knows that he's the guy, right? Or he thinks he's the guy. He's trying to confirm it, sort of, with a gesture.
Get a raised eyebrow, and then he'll start dragging the dwarf over there.
Okay. So, Corgrim, you're brought over, and there is a guy who is smiling and kind of waving at you. What do we see on Corgrim's face?
So, does he look like a drunkard in a way? So, like someone who has... he's hung over, if I understood correctly.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he fits the stereotype I had in mind.
Not for nothing, we mentioned this last time, but this is one of the illustrations from the GM screen. That's Garen right there.
Yeah.
Images, and I would say the image is very on point for,
Yeah.
The life of the noon party that would be in the tavern.
Yeah. So,
but I think he would get up from that and sort of brush himself off a little bit and straighten up his gambeson or whatever he's wearing and walk over to these two.
And you can see that, like, for the looks of things, they've got their like road stuff on them. They've seemingly either just arrived or they look like they've been traveling for.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Greetings, friends.
Greetings.
Garen, Bladebreaker.
I think we were looking for you.
Oh, that's what I thought. Maybe we were looking for each other.
So,
The dwarf
here
is
seems to think you're
studying you carefully, Garen.
Yeah. I think my hand is very close to my weapon, but not...
Do I notice?
Give us an empathy check, Garen. I think you're actually pretty good at empathy.
Yeah. See if I notice that.
And let me ask you, before you roll, Ingolf, how easy do you think it is for Garen?
I think it's easy that he's somewhat hostile, but he's not like starting a fight right now.
Okay, so give us an EB. There you go. So you can see, you pick up exactly what.
I think he puts his hands up, like clearly not having any weapons. Whoa! I think we're getting off on the wrong foot here. And he looks, for his name, and you would be.
I'm Corgrim, and you're one of those robbers.
I think you also remember dwarves almost always introduce themselves as the son of.
Yeah, yes. But I can't. I don't know. Maybe I could find her. I'm son of Korgosh or something.
You are son of Corgrim. So I think I took it off the thing.
Oh no.
Well, maybe
he's lost his father, so.
Yeah, actually, it's not. I don't see it in the backstory either.
Yeah.
That's weird because all dwarves have either. Again, my Duolingo is paying off for my dwarvish name book too, because it's Zon or Tokter.
Yeah,
daughter. So your choice. I mean, you.
So I'm Korgrim's son of Kargosh or something like that. So.
Okay. And then, what was your follow-up question?
I was just gonna say.
Korgrim. Korgrim had asked you something.
Yeah.
So you're one of those robbers.
Oh yeah, no, we're not. We're not robbers. Mercenaries.
So one of the fun things about this outcome is that Garen, he's kept the name Bladebreaker, but his backstory is that he basically intervened when 6 of his colleagues were trying to fuck around with something. So he got pretty badly beaten by this and then cast out of it because he wouldn't go along with their bullshit.
Yeah. So I think you would actually be aware of the notoriousness of your troop. So I guess it wouldn't be the first time that you would be
used.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Right.
So what do you think, Garen? Is that a painful memory, or is that because you're choosing to keep that name for surely some reason, but
yeah.
Is it a way to redeem that? Is it because of things you've done when you were a Bladebreaker that you feel like I can't be seen as having escaped my sins, or?
Yeah, I think that I think he's trying to put a better angle, a better shine on the name. He's trying to repair it a little bit.
Okay.
So I think he would say, there may have been the occasional dealing in the past that was not completely above board, but trust me, this is all above board, and I am not like that.
We'll see.
We shall see. I shall earn your trust, friend.
Well, don't call me a friend.
Yeesh, tough crowd.
Yeah,
Over there just
fresh out of the mage's tower, and it's like, God, everyone's so mean to each other. So perhaps with you rolled pretty well there, Garen, as well. You could tell that Talion is a little. Well, tell us, John. Is he's a little out of his depth here right now, or?
I think he's got a handle on the situation as far as being comfortable where he is. He just doesn't know if this is going to flare up and get into a brawl. And he's heard things about tavern brawls and doesn't want to participate in tavern brawls. He's a little uncertain. Have we figured it out, guys? Are we working together or not?
What? Of course.
For now.
Okay.
Nothing to worry about, Talion.
So, with that said, it's the middle of the day now. Do you guys want to sit down and have a drink and talk about, from what the Seneschal had told you, the Duke will send word for you tomorrow?
Okay.
You must be hungry from your journey. Let us start by me buying you a lunch.
If you're offering, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would be tempted to say no, but then again, I mean, it's free lunch, so who could say no to free lunch?
All right. So with free, and I think Garen had some winnings from gambling last evening too.
Yeah, it wasn't very much. It was just above even, basically, but he tries hard.
Okay. So sitting down for a meal here, if you want soup with meat, that'll be 7 kreutzers, which is basically 0.01 or 0.07 of a silver thaler. The kreutzers are the iron coins, thalers are the bronze coins, silver thalers are the silver, and then ducats are the gold coins in the midden realm. Okay. So soup with meat. If you want to stew with everything in bread, that's 15 kreutzers. A pitcher of beer will cost you, depending on the quality, between 4 and 8 kreutzers. And the evening, if you want the dormitory will cost you 1 thaler, and room would cost you 10 thaler, so 1 silver thaler.
Mm-hmm.
So, sitting down for the evening, I guess for the afternoon, Garen, I guess what do all of you guys say? So Garen's got some information he's learned from meeting with the Duke and with Voltan, but you guys have yet to actually meet with him yet.
Yeah, let's say that we're going to be meeting with the Duke soon. Is there any information you can give us about what to expect, what might be waiting for us, things like that?
Oh, well, the Duke, he was a nice guy, but he was fairly quiet. His uncle?
Yeah.
Was there, and he took charge and told us what was expected.
So
protect you. That is the job. Guide you safely.
Okay.
Talion, it's not unreasonable for you to think, wait, so there's a dwarven warrior, a mercenary, and a blessed one of Rondra who are all accompanying you. Like, where is it that you're going that requires that much muscle?
Yeah, and in fact, I asked that. It's like, seems a bit much for a standard adventure. Is something going down that I need to be aware of?
There are goings on in the region. Do I know where we're going, Kev?
You do, yeah. You're going up to first Vinkenholm, and then from there up to Costume.
Yeah.
To that dwarven settlement. You're supposed to, what they were wanting you to do is look at the same thing we talked about at the beginning, what Voltan von Falkenhag had told you, basically the same kind of backstory last time.
Oh, yeah. So that this enchantress, is she an enchantress?
Yeah, she's a mage as well.
Mage?
Yeah, Chrissy von Salmingen. Yeah.
Well, she is active in the area. Well, potentially.
She blinded our king. Or my king, I would suppose to say.
Yes.
Which tells you that Korgrim's actually from Costume. Because that's...
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's his community that would have been devastated. And I think you probably could pick up that, like, oh, if he's a dwarf that's been sent down here and he's from Costume originally, the king may have sent allies to help this person along in addition to Voltan hiring people.
Oh, yes. Right. Were you sent by the king, Korgrim?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Or yes, somehow. I mean, I guess I was. I was. Let me put it this way. Yes, I was.
Okay.
So if there are any traces of her or the traitor, then we will find them or kill them if possible.
So your king is working then with the Duke.
Yes. I mean, there's maybe some mistrust still, but in general, they kind of fought together, I suppose. So I'd say because otherwise they wouldn't have even beat the Allegrim. So
yeah.
When
And
they were
Voltan,
allies.
the king would have died if it wasn't for Voltan. So, like, as much as it was a human mage who was responsible for it, it's also a human mage that allowed him to survive. So, it's
And so the guy who defeated this kind of phoenix was then made an honorary dwarf by the Koshin. So it's like there is some respect going on in both directions.
yeah.
Right. But I see what you mean. I've noticed the mistrust, and he looks down at Corgrim. It's something we will have to work on.
Yeah. I guess they were allied with some robbers, but you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Certainly wasn't me or any of the other blade breakers I know.
I guess it wasn't, yeah.
There are many bandits about. That's why you need a good sword with you by your side, Talion.
Yeah. I'm not one for physical confrontations myself, so.
Well, I will be sure to get between you and any danger that I see.
That would be highly appreciated. I know some magics that would likely help you in that endeavor.
Oh, wonderful.
Drinks are brought, food is brought for you, and I think, Talion, because you rolled pretty well on that empathy check, you can see Garen keeps looking at the door for some reason.
That's right. You waiting for someone?
Yes, I've met some friends here.
So
Will these friends be accompanying us?
Yes,
well, you were waiting. You know that Elwene is staying at the temple, but the person
she wouldn't be here.
No, the person I was referring to is actually the exorcist.
Right.
So
like
perhaps,
George's character,
that's
the wizard?
Right. Yeah. Siberian Hanishmacher.
Mm.
And is a fan of Hanishmacher.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So
there was a bit of an incident last night.
Yeah.
Here.
This
and I thought,
is Hanishmacher.
yeah, an incident around you I couldn't believe. Yeah.
this one was not my fault. I was playing cards and winning, of course, and apparently there were some cursed coins that were here.
Oh.
And this exorcist individual showed up and rescued me and another gentleman who had also won at cards, and some horrible spirits came out of the walls, the nether realms. I'm not even sure. I don't understand that, but they attacked us and they were unkillable.
I think you have the first impression that Corgrim somehow believes that story. So while he was very grumpy, so like there's a cursed item and spirits going on, that sounds awfully like things he already has seen here. So
yeah. So what?
This seems to be the first thing you say that is true, maybe.
And you hear about this, Talion, like an exorcist is a very specific type of mage. There are different. So the cosmology in Aventuria is a series of spheres. There are different spheres, and one of them, I think, is the fourth, has the dead in it. There's one that has the elementals. There is one where demons reside, and the an exorcist. If you ask about a little more about him, like what Garen won't know necessarily, but what you're able to tell is that he is actually from the college in Paracum. And the Paracum School of Exorcism is a unique school still in the Midden Realm, but it's much further to the east and south from where you are. The Exorcist School specializes in dispelling ghosts and demons. And by dispelling, I mean casting them back into their spheres where they belong. I'll put in chat here what Paracum is. It is a very specific kind of skill set. And it's important because what you would know is that, especially for ghosts, like incorporeal spirits, and in many cases demons, they simply cannot be affected by non-magical things. Like your staff might affect them, a spell or a liturgic prayer might affect them, or the way that the exorcists do with a enchanted magic sword. They have both a staff and a sword. They are used in addition to the ways of casting them out.
Yeah, so that sounds like something I want to encounter without an exorcist at my side.
So
yes, it was very scary.
Do you remember
Luckily,
what you were doing during, like what he was doing during the fight, the wizard?
Yeah, he was casting a spell that took a long time to pull off, but it was able to banish the demons or the spirits back into their coins.
Mm-hmm. The exorcist had been traveling with like a guard the same way that you have Corgrim, but he was apparently killed by one of the spirits associated with one of these coins. Do you remember much about what he had told? He's been hunting this thing from the east. Do you remember, Garen, what Siberian told you about the horde?
I don't remember the detail of the horde, just the no, I don't remember exactly. They were
the money. Do you remember
the money was cursed? Each one had a soldier inside of it.
Correct. It was money that was paid to a general to allow his troops to be slaughtered. And it was one of the Heptarch's armies. So it seems as if that general did not keep his hoard, because when the coins were separated from it, each of them would come back as a what was it called? Well, it was a rage ghost, basically. I can't remember what the German word was. Angergeist? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they came back and tried to murder the person who was in possession of the coin. Which the Garen and one of his new companions or new friends used to their advantage to basically keep them at bay while the exorcists banished them. But it was as they were talking about that there did something occurred to you about the horde itself. For one, the horde seems to have come from that dwarf who you were betting with, Kurak, son of Agam.
Oh, yep.
And Kurax also seemed to be the one that you were asking about, like potential, or maybe it was Hobbs's character was asking about the potential work. Kurax was the guy who said that he could set her up with a fence or with a like a fixer.
Oh, okay, yep.
Kurax seems to have that horde, and what we talked about was actually Carissia van Salmingen. Carissia van Salmingen is a exceptionally gifted necromancer. She is a Borbaradian mage through and through. taught by I can't remember his name offhand, but it's the undead dragon, the Heptarch, who shattered the realm between the living and the dead. If she gets hold of, imagine an entire pile of coins of Rage Ghost armies, of Rage Ghost soldiers, if they altered the curse in some capacity.
Right.
So that was the thing you talked about. That's what the Exorcist was looking into. He has not returned from whatever he was looking into. Although, in fairness, it does seem like he relied on his companion to do the investigation beforehand because he was not particularly good at it.
Right. And also, we were discussing that maybe we should be letting the Baron or the Duke?
Baron Voltan von Falkenhag?
Yeah, about this situation of these cursed coins in his kingdom.
Yeah. Razazor, yes. I'll load an image. I got there's in the Ingolf, because I missed it. Ingolf promised me there's a dragon book that came out, German language right now, but there's a dragon book that came out for it that has an illustration of Razazor that's super fucking cool. So, that is, Talion, that's... Korgrim has seen conflict with the Heptarch's armies, so I think you've got some experience out in the world. Mm-hmm. But Talion, how are you taking this in? Cursed silver, undead rage soldiers coming back, and now something that potentially could involve the most notorious mage in the entire principality.
It sounds like the beginnings of a grand adventure, but also a lot more danger than he was expecting in the first place. Haunted coins? I don't know if he can deal with that without help. He kind of leans into the table and says, "Are they paying you guys enough for this?"
I had mentioned to the Duke's uncle that more pay might be in order.
Are you saying that my king is poor?
No.
Not at all. And that is why he should be more generous for such a dangerous mission. But I see that he has sent a valiant warrior to help us get back. Do you have a big axe or something, Korgrim?
Yes. I have.
He probably kind of points at your big axe. I'm assuming you're very handy with that thing.
Yeah. You want me to show you? No.
No, not personally. No.
What would you guys like to do with the rest of your day? I can tell you that Siberian does not return today.
That's interesting.
Not sure there's much more fact finding we can do with the limited time we have.
Agreed.
No, I guess. I mean, I could try to mingle with some dwarves and get some local ideas of what's going on from the dwarven side. I mean, these are hill dwarves, but yeah, nevertheless.
Yeah, dwarves are dwarves, and they think I still have in here.
When are we meeting with the Duke? Tomorrow?
Apparently he'll send word tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Rogalan is the dwarven word. So Garashem is greetings. Barashem is to your health. And Dorakash is enemy.
Yeah, and that's the most important word in any language.
Definitely. Oh, there is also Ka Raboshan Horitaman Angrashin, which is by the long beard of Angrosh. So, if you're asking around, I think what is it you're asking around about Korgrim? Do you think, is it just within Angbar itself, or are you thinking like around like Angbaran or elsewhere?
Yeah, I think I would just ask what the Duke has done lately, how people view him in a way, and then again, talk about that the persons responsible for unleashing the Allegrim are still alive and running around here. So.
Oh yeah. So what you would hear about is it's referenced a little bit in that article. Unfortunately, I can't get. So they don't have. They have German language versions of these, but they don't have electronic versions of the English language Aventurian Heralds. So I had to take a photograph in order to get this in. But the Thalessian Alliance, or the Thalesia Alliance, is a cabal of the Prince of Kosh and then some of his important allies, including Baron Voltan and his nephew, the Duke of Hilsland, I think is the name of his duchy. There's like a concerted effort between nobles to find Carissia von Salmingen. That's really, I guess, there's also if you bring it up, then I think probably they would pick up, because you are from Costume, and there's so many hill dwarves that don't live there. I think they might recognize perhaps your armor or whatever else, that, and they're going to insist on buying you a drink, I think, so. But otherwise, no. Like they will ask how things are in Costume as well.
Yeah, and then I will say, they're dire, but they're still. We will rebuild. We will not give in, or something like that.
Yeah. So they toast to the health of your king.
Yeah. To how it was called? Gillamon. Yeah.
Yep.
To Gillamon, son of Gimlin. Yeah.
Mountain King, Dragon Slayer, Lord of the Gargalax clan.
Yeah, that's very apt description.
They're all talking in Rogalash. So, Tilian, what about you? You just getting to know Garen, or?
Yeah, I think he'll spend some time with Garen and just ask about his history and, why he decided to keep the Bladebreaker name.
I'm not sure. Did you fail your warfare check?
Oh, I did. Yes, that was.
Yeah, so I don't think you would have.
Okay.
It may not. That's something that your studies may have not covered. Is the way that he keeps the name. Although you could, maybe if you want, you could ask about the tension between, like, why is the.
It's like why is Korgrim so up in knots about your name and who you travel with?
Well, when you're trying to just survive as a sellsword, sometimes you have to take a deal that is in the gray area of some people's moral compass. And so, from the sounds of it, Korgrim has no trust for those who would be bandits or thieves. And I could see how he would see some of the gray area that we have operated in falling closer to that line than he's comfortable with.
I have a little experience with the mercenaries outside the tower. Been cooped up for quite a while, studying under my master. The most I get to see of the world is through books and missives.
If you look down at his hands, Garen, in place of the well calloused hands that you and Cordrum likely have soft and ink stained.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can see.
Although you did see, you have had recent experience with a mage who was able to defeat something that you had absolutely no ability to deal with, right?
Of course, yeah. Your skills lie with your mind, friend.
They do. It does take a dexterous hand in order to make some of the somatic gestures, but the staff I have is mostly for, well, my benefit and last ditch resort.
But it is indestructible.
It can be broken. It's exceedingly difficult to do so.
Yes. You see, we did not name ourselves the Staff Breakers.
Oof. Yeah, that would have been a poor moniker.
Yes.
Bad fortune.
Of course. Well.
So evening would come, and you guys would be still chatting. You guys would probably join back together. What you find is word does come for you that tomorrow morning you will be meeting with the Baron, or rather the Duke, and likely the Baron as well. What do you guys want to do this evening?
Oh,
if anything, do you turn in early? Do you?
Probably. Thalia needs his rest. Got to be sharp in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, they think we're going to be visited by spirit coins again. That might be a concern he brings up.
Curiously, that dwarf who seems to have been losing those coins, Garen, doesn't show up again tonight.
Right, he's not here as well.
No.
Maybe, sorry, what was his name?
The dwarf?
No, the exorcist.
Oh, Siberian.
Maybe Siberian is onto him and followed him.
One could hope.
If he's left, then...
If one needs magic to deal with them, I'd hate to see innocent civilians caught in the mix.
If he happens to mention his name is Siberian Harnishmacher, you would also cue in telling that's an unusual thing, because one of the things you tend to do as a wizard is you kind of take your own name. Like you choose your name when you become a wizard. And if he's keeping his surname, there's two curious things about that. For one, he's an exorcist, meaning he involves with the binding and casting out of other spirits. But, Ingolf, what does Harnishmacher mean?
Armor smith.
Oh.
He kept that name.
Oh.
It is interesting. Would I know anything about this particular exorcist other from that?
Not him. You would know about the school broadly, but let's see how much. Why don't you give us a what is? Oh, it's knowledge. Where is it here? I think it's myths and legends. Oh, spheres. Wait, is that it? Not craft, not nature. I think sphere lore. Or... yeah, sphere lore is probably the correct one.
Okay. Difficulty am I shooting for?
Oh, difficulty for this one will be easy once again.
Okay.
Nice. One quality level of success. And remember, what you can do with fate points as well is buy extra levels of... extra quality levels of success.
Gotcha.
Is one of the few ways you can get... oh, here it is. If you've got no training in something or limited training, you can get a success level or quality level of beyond the first one. So the Paracum, what you know is that so there are in the Aventuria setting, there are several different human cultural groups as well, and one of the, it's not really a rival empire, but the city-states of the Ptolemades here. Is Al-Anfan, is that what I'm thinking of? Is the kind of the overall culture? Or is that just...
Anfa is the thing in the south where is are you talking about those?
Yeah, I'm talking about because one of the things about Paracum is that, oh, actually, you know what will be a better reference is the Midden Realm ones. So here we go.
Yeah.
So you see where it is on the Gulf of Paracum there? It is very close. There is a, it's kind of like where the Midden Realm is kind of like Western Europe influenced. The southern regions are more influenced by North Africa and the Middle East, and the kind of medieval societies that are there. Paracum is this kind of interesting blend of the two. And as such, there are aspects of magic from further south that Paracum has access to, including some that happen to know more about the access to the spheres and the dispelling, and casting out of things from the spheres. The other thing you know is they, as part of their training, they also spend time seconded with the Church of Boron. Boron is the god of death and dreams. A graveyard is called Boron's Yard. So, but here's the thing that Boron also is involved in the treatment of mental illness. So places that are like asylums or whatnot are handled by the Church of Boron, and a specific, I can't remember what the saint is who involves it, but they have a specific training with that. The exorcists spend time working with the Boronite priests in those asylums so as to understand the difference between mental illness and possession.
Okay.
So they are extremely trained in looking for people who are possessed by ghosts or people who are, possessed by demons. And demons come in a wide variety of things. You would know at least just the basics that each of the 12 archdemons that are nemesis to the 12 gods, each of those has their own army of demons. So does the Nameless One. And on top of that, the ghosts come in a wide variety of manifestations. A lot of undead at least the most common undead you will see are typically things that are summoned by Borberadian necromancers or by other necromancers. But there are also things like revenants who come back for revenge, or ancestor spirits that will answer the calls of shamans, or things that are not necessarily one spirit, but a bunch of unquiet spirits that affect a vehicle, like a boat or a house or a castle. So there's a huge amount of variety among the ghosts, and the exorcists are trained in the particulars of a lot of those different things. So while you may have a great deal of experience in a lot of other areas, your training likely covered just the rudimentary aspects of those different spheres and how to cast them back, whereas that is specifically what the exorcists of Paracum are particularly trained to handle.
Okay.
So that's what you would know about the exorcists. Anything else you guys wish to do in the evening?
I think that pretty much covers it. Just get to the morning and talk to the Baron.
Garen will very reluctantly go to bed what he considers early.
So,
it's only assisted a little bit by the fact that he is very tired today. It was quite an adventurous day yesterday.
Yeah. Well, and you have yet to see either of your two companions from last night return. One is likely because she was quite badly injured last night, is likely under the care of whatever temple she found her way to. But still, even when you finally deem it, late enough to go to bed, no sign of the exorcist.
Right. Yeah.
Should we be concerned about that?
I guess just to finish this mistrust I have and to get rid of it for the next day, when Garen finally is leaving or something like that, Corgrim would just start to ask whether the story he told, what happened yesterday, was true. So maybe there was, like, the innkeeper would know that there was something like that.
Yeah, and what the innkeeper tells you is that there definitely was. If you describe, I mean, you heard him. I'm trying to decide if you would have asked, because as you can see from the illustration, mage from the College of Paracum is a very identifiable thing, right? They've got the exorcist symbol of the inverted pentagram on them, and so they're. And you know what? No, I think because the mages are so uncommon in Angbar, I think that you would. I think that you would easily identify or be able to. The innkeeper would be able to easily identify who it is you're speaking of. He's like, "You mean that the wizard?" Yeah, I don't know what happened outside. There were folk who said they heard him and a wizard were fighting ghosts, and there was a woman from Gareth. Oh, not Gareth. What is it? What is the name of the Dragon Empire to the west? The old one.
Horus, so the Horus.
Horasian, yes, yeah,
Horasian Empire,
yeah. There's a Horasian woman who was with him, and I don't know what caused it, but she got a licking, but he and the mage, whatever he did, he made them go away. Okay. They also came in and they paid off and bought the coins that they thought would do the same thing to here. So,
okay, so
no, he.
Yeah, then I would actually be relieved and tend to not not to trust him completely, but I guess he did the right thing, so I guess that's okay.
Okay. So, as you guys are setting down, why don't we take our mid-session break right now? We're a little bit late for that. Take our mid-session break now. We'll come back and see what awaits you in the morning. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Hey, George. I did not doubt that we would see Siberian again at some point. I hope you're having a great start to the weekend. And for everyone else as well, too. North of the Rockies, Epps, Matthew, hope you guys are all having a great start to your weekend. We're waiting for Jeff to get back. Let's quickly... And... So I did share that picture of Razazor in the Discord, but... Oh, God, that book is so good, too. Honestly, all the... It's so unfortunate that the English language line died out after or at least currently it died out after the first batch of books came out, because all those supplemental books on like ghosts and the undead and elemental stuff and dragons, like every one of them is amazing and has so much great stuff in it.
Yeah, I think I hope that they just manage to focus now on their core competence and just don't try to be all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. So you guys would not have actually seen this, obviously. And as far as you know, he has been defeated and finally expunged from the living world, but that's Razazor.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Wow.
there's this. They're called Kaiser dragons. They're the largest dragons in the Dark Eye,
Yeah.
and he's an undead one.
Yes. And the dragons in the setting are effectively like demigods. They're the originals, like Pirkador, and the ones that came from him. They are descended from gods. They're incredibly, although they also have lesser varieties of it, like the tree dragon that Talion learned about in that our first session when we played it. So yeah, it's really, really neat. When morning comes, you guys would, you know that you have time to have your breakfast here. Anything you guys wish to discuss before your meeting with the Duke and with the Baron?
Nope.
I believe so.
Okay. Then you guys will head out. Garen, I guess you're going to wash yourself up as best you can. You have had like 3 solid nights of gambling and drinking.
Yes. Time to move on from this place, I feel.
And you took it easy last night, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so that unfortunately means you are not having any hangover statuses. So.
Oh, yeah. He wants to try and impress them and do a good job here, so.
All right, then. Let's use... I guess let's use the street. Let's use the temple, because we're not going to have that temple. This isn't where you're meeting with them. But you guys are into the... I think it's... Oh, boy, not Embers. What is it called? Old Angbar. Where the nobility is located. Right near where those big mountains are. That is where you will be meeting up with the Duke and his people. You are brought into the room. They do ask you to leave your weapons behind when meeting with them.
They're not gonna keep a wizard and a staff separated, are they?
No, they trust. For one, they probably trust that you could do that, and secondly, you're meeting with Voltan von Falkenhag. So, if he can keep the Allegrim at bay, I'm pretty sure he can handle a mage fresh out of the tower.
Oh yeah, I like my staff.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nothing like the confidence of Gnosis.
Yeah. So as you guys are brought, you're brought in. It is a, I think it's a low ceilinged thing. It's got a probably a nice view of a small garden tucked around in the back, and you likely have a view of perhaps the keep, Angbar Keep. And it's not long before first the Count. I keep saying Duke, but it's the Count.
The Count. Oh, okay, it is the Count. Yeah.
Wilbur Arbilius of C.
I think I've called him the Baron and the Duke.
I've fucked that up a bunch of times too. The Baron though is Baron Voltan von Falkenhag, because he does have that status, and this.
Oh, okay.
Is Voltan von Falkenhag. So he comes in as well, and he. We're not going to bother making Dave wasn't able to play tonight because he's got a handball game in Edmonton. But first, we'll just hand wave, and we'll assume that Alwene was here next time he plays. But so they come in, and the Count, or I think Voltan actually is the first one who speaks and says, so this is our wizard then.
Your service.
So I forgot, I should have written down your master's name here. It was... Master Ulrich.
Yeah.
Is that a character?
No, like Ulrich is the German name for the default character in the Dark Eye. So it's Ulrich.
That's great.
Yeah. So if you don't know any, it's like the John Doe of the Dark Eye.
That's great. So I guess it's Master, whatever you want to call it, then I suppose. But
Yeah,
that's funny. So Master Ulrich, Voltan says, so you are the one that Ulrich sent us. What's your name, boy?
Yes, my lord. I'm Thalion.
Thalion, and I've heard of you, Corgrim.
Oh.
It's always a pleasure to meet one of the Angrashim.
Yeah.
And he says in Rogalan, he greets you. He seems to actually speak your tongue.
Yeah, so I don't know, sir, or I don't think I would say my lord, but something like that. I mean, okay. I don't know what the
there is
title is.
If you don't want to use, well, I mean, if you don't want to use his title as a noble, like a human noble, you can call him master, because that's what you call mages.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he recognizes what's the word I'm looking for here? He shows the honor that you're showing him by using his proper terminology, and he agrees. I think he is likely, because of saving the king's life, he probably is dwarf friend as well. Come to think of it, I actually don't know whether that's official or not.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but I mean, I would even mention that the king speaks still highly of him or something like that.
I'm quite fond of Guillemon, and your prince's death still is a loss I carry with me. When the Allegrim attacked, Guillemon was saved but blinded. The prince did not survive. So there is currently no heir to Costume.
Yes, it's a tragedy. It is.
Indeed. And one we would see not repeated. Carissa von Falkenhag, Carissa von Salmingen has the witch has, actually he wouldn't call her that because witches are a thing in the setting. The sorceress, she will pay.
Yes.
The Count says such dire things. Then what do you think, Uncle? With this one, and he nods towards Thalion, will he be suitable? Voltan looks back and says, Master Alric has indicated that your studies include knowledge of enchanting, and you would know to recognize the markings of a mage.
Yes, that is definitely something within my skill set.
Caricia is a... Sorry, I thought there was a... I'll make up a nickname for her otherwise, but I thought there was a nickname in that article. Let's see here. No, there's not. It's just Caricia. She's like Cher. You know, no one's naming their kid Caricia in the Principality of Kosh for the next, 120 years or whatever. So he says the Caricia is a guild-trained mage. So, though I suspect the magics she used to free the fire spirit were beyond the scope of what was taught in the guild. Your master says you have a particular interest in unusual spirits.
Yes. Mythos of Ancient Beasts is something I highly seek information on. It is a fascination of sorts.
I assume you have not been to the mountains.
I have not.
Well, there's no better than one of the Angrasheen to teach you the ways. It will be difficult. It is the first time. And the climb to Koschim. You will not forget your first time. But you are in good company for this. The Count says, well then, we have our expedition. We have our scholar. I think we can... Your friend, he says to Voltan, I think your friend will be well served. Voltan says, indeed. Are you ready to depart, then?
We are.
If you wish to bring up this thing about the coins, this is probably the only opportunity you would have to do so.
I hate to trouble you. What would I call him? Not your majesty, your
Master.
excellency?
Master Voltan.
Master?
Yeah. I mean, you could call him... actually, I can answer that.
I would use the correct... I guess what I'm getting at is I would attempt to use the correct...
He's a baron.
Name for him.
You could call him Highborn, or you could call him Master, because he is a mage and he is...
Okay. I would probably call him Master.
Yeah.
Master, there is one thing. 2 nights ago, here in your city, I came across a... What's it called?
Exorcist of Paracum?
Oh, Exorcist.
Yeah.
There were some cursed coins traveling through the city, carried by a dwarf. Shoot, I closed his name. Where is he?
Oh, sorry, I had his name. Yeah. His name, I believe, is Kurak, son of Agam.
Oh, yeah, Kurak, son of Agam. Has a bag there, a cursed hoard within the coins. Some of them were released in the city streets. luckily this mage was able to help. Well, we barely helped him, but he was able to contain them and
Contain what?
the evil spirits within the coins. They are a horde army, raging ghosts of some sort.
He looks at his nephew and then looks back.
It's magic beyond my understanding, but what I do know is if the coins are separated from each other, these ghosts will be summoned and attack the possessor of the coins.
As best you can, first, the exorcist. He is still within the city?
I believe he is. I was expecting to see him back at the inn yesterday, but he never arrived, and so I'm uncertain where he is up to, but
And do you know where he went?
I do not.
If you tell him
tell me
the context of what happened, that he was hunting this stuff, I think he gets more concerned, and there's a lot more looks over at his nephew over the course of the discussion.
He was hunting them. I'm not sure if any more of the coins have been separated, but they're very dangerous.
I think
if you could locate him, he could quite possibly use your assistance.
that, or there are few among their numbers here, but the blessed of Bolron are likewise enemies of the unquiet dead. Again, the reach of the Heptarchs reaches Kosh. He looks at Count and he says, we could advise those here. He looks back at you. Thank you for... Unfortunately, this task in costume is pressing. And...
Of course.
But... I will find your exorcist, and we will deal with these coins. The name is not familiar to me, but I trust we can find one who can find him.
There's a good chance he is still within the city. I just do not know where.
Well, indeed, and if this... Last evening I saw no... or heard no indication of ghostly attacks, I suspect we will find him and those coins. Then,
I think so.
Is there anything further?
That was the extent of the extra information I had.
Then, ready yourself, and tomorrow, we would ask, take your leave.
Thank you.
And he will give you, let's see here. He's going to have to give you some money for expenses and whatnot. So do you guys think you earn as much per day as a barber, a prostitute, a horse tamer, I think we'll say, let's see here. For each of you, it'll be a little more than that. Let's say 6 silver dollars per day. It is probably going to take you a month in order to get up there and get back. So figure half now until you reach costume, and the other half will be paid there. So that'll be 75 silver dollars that they'll pay each.
Master is gracious.
I was trying to find the coins page. You know what
Under equipment.
Where's it, John?
Okay.
Equipment page.
And equipment has 2 different. There's inventory and there's equipment.
Oh, that's why. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, what did you say? 75 silver dollars?
75 silver dollars. You'll be paid another 75 when you reach there.
Okay. Perfect.
That may also be low. You know what? Make it 150. I'm just looking at the price of things, and like it's going to be. You'll have to pay for your own room and board on the way up there too. So, if there is anything you wish to purchase before you go, you're welcome to do so. But yeah, otherwise, have you any last questions for the Baron or for the Count?
Don't think so.
Okay. Then, you guys leave. Anything you wish to do with the rest of your day?
I guess we need to have the right gear for the mountains, but other than that...
And that you can likely get in Vengenholm.
Yeah, okay.
Now, one of the reasons you're stopping there, Vengenholm is kind of a staging point for getting up to costume.
Probably want to get some provisions so we can eat along the way between stops. I've got 3 days supply right now.
The first place you'll be stopping is Steinbrücken, which has even more dwarves than usual. That's more so, like more just strictly dedicated towards trade. Let's take a look at the map here. There we go. So Steinbrücken is right there, and then Overangbar is the next place you'll pass. Although you can catch in Steinbrücken, you can catch a boat, and you can take a boat up Overangbar. You can almost get all the way to Vengenholm that way. The further north you're going to get. Let's see.
I would be opposing going by boat. I mean, that is not the wise choice to do.
Dwarves never liked boats.
Well, also, Corgrim would know more recently, having traveled up there, that like there are wreckers on the river. Like, wreckers are people who intentionally try and obstruct river traffic so they can rob them.
Yeah, and the other thing is he can't swim. I mean, he really can't swim at all. So,
yeah.
It's like a common trope for dwarves in our group.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sinks exceptionally well. Which is, it'll be the, simply the traveling then. Anything...
I would strongly urge and maybe even make up stories why it is unsafe to travel the river. Just to make sure.
I love that.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. So how many days travel we think it'll till we get to the next spot where we can
did.
I just want to make sure I have enough provisions to get there in one piece
Oh, sure,
without
yeah.
starving.
Did I give? Oh, I didn't. Oh, let's take a look at. Hold on. Let's take a look at. Look at this amazing map here. Love it. This is the one that was done by Ingolf's friend.
Yeah. In Agerhard.
Yeah, amazing. Just an incredible looking thing. So Angbar to Steinbrücken is here, and Oberangbar is here. What's I think missing from this map? I believe there is a town that it has something to do with Rondra along the river here, but it was actually missing from that other map as well. You know, look at this thing. This is from we're using for Dave to show the distance between. Oh, you know what? It is Ronderstank, which is. Let's see here. Ronderstank is right here.
Okay.
For you. Angenberg is not on the map either. That may be of interest to Alwene to stop there, because there is going to be a little shrine to Rondra there. But let's see if I wrote it down. I thought I wrote down somewhere how long this was going to take you, because there is a map, or there's a like, you know, traveling from one place to another place grid in the Riverlands book, the Flusland, which has such a fucking cool cover. It shows basically a bunch of dwarves like getting ready to rob a bunch of boats. It's really fun. Okay, give me a sec here. I'm gonna figure out what the scale is here. You have a question there, John?
No.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Is it on here? Let's see. Is there a scale? 9. Scheiße. There is one on here, though. Okay. Yes, okay. So let me create a little thing here. So this will be 80 midden miles. And let's take a look here. Oh boy. Okay. So, overland travel is in the. I think it's in the back here. Let me see. I do love at the back of the book they've got all the tables from the book duplicated, including the XP chart. So it's handy having all that stuff. Ceremonial stuff. Okay, that's not there. Let's take a look here. Anything you guys wish to pick up before you set forth? Are you good for your gear?
No, I think we're okay.
Yeah, aside from provisions, I think we're good.
Okay. No one needs any healing potions?
There might be healing potions.
I mean, I don't have any. Is that something that we can buy?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do those go for?
Yeah, I could definitely use some of those. Jeff can be talked into that.
Good. Okay, so they're quite expensive.
Oh, never mind then.
You're just toying with us.
Something that heals 1d6 life points will cost you 40 silver taler.
Whoa, that's not the kind of thing we're ready to buy.
Okay.
Just have to make do with my healing magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Gotta remember not to blow all my energy in battle.
yeah, that arcane energy goes
So quick.
quick.
Well, or maybe it's one of those games where like you have to like take a day of rest if you get into a bad fight, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. More than a couple of days, maybe.
It's funny.
Warhammer 40k for you.
The Warhammer Fantasy, yeah. Yeah, so our Warhammer Fantasy game, we've got 2 people who are suffering from critical injuries, and it's going to be like a month before they're free of them.
Well, we got a dwarf that has 2 now because he wanted to brawl in a bar fight.
Yeah, that's right. He had his arm jarred out of joint because he got in a fight in the bar. Well, because he'd lost a fight in the bar, in fairness.
Yeah. Never pick a bar fight you can't win.
Yeah. What's a neat thing about the game in that particular game is that like you can be an absolute badass with your choice weapons, but if you happen to be fighting in a way that you're not trained, like these guys could kick the shit out of people with their weapons and in armor. They're able to fight big monsters and stuff like that. A bar fight where they don't have any training in it too, and they're outnumbered, it was ugly. Okay, so 40 mid miles. It'll be 2 days. Sorry, guys, that took a long time for me to find the answer here, but it takes 2 days to get to Steinbrücken, and it'll be, let's see here. So 2 to get to Steinbrücken. That means it'll probably be 2 and a bit until you get to Overangbar, and then likely 4 to get to Rondrastank. Probably another 4, though it's going to get more difficult as you're getting up to Vengenholm. And then it's up into the mountains to get to Costume. So, yeah, it's I think the estimate of a month is probably right of getting there and getting back. Notwithstanding the time you spend in Costume as well. Maybe give yourselves, because you're also going to be working there, why don't you give yourselves an extra 50 silver thaler? So it'll be 200 that you're paid up front. It'll be another 200 when you get there. You're going to chew through a fair bit of that if you're going along the way. Does anyone have any tents or anything as well? One of the things about the game is your rate of recovery of life points, arcane energy, and karma points is how comfortable your camp settings are. Now, typically, at major junctions and whatnot, you can find roadside inns, but what Corgrim can tell you is that the further you get north, the more they've been affected by the last 10 years in the northern regions. So you're going to find places where there's burned out inns. It's not like the way Costume, where the rest of Kosh is.
Well,
anyone have training in survival?
Let's see.
I guess maybe
Because that's for making camp.
I do not.
which one is survival under?
Survival's under nature skills.
Yeah, I have 5 SP.
Yep.
no, I'm not trained. I mean, survival. I mean, this is overland, so this is underground. That's where we need to go.
I don't know what kind of price tag is on a tent, Kevin.
Tent? Let's see.
Yeah. See if we would consider it, I guess.
A 2-person tent, a 4-person tent, maybe. No, we don't want a 4-person tent.
Well,
40 silver thalers is a 4-person tent.
we could all chip in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against it, that's for sure.
So, it's containers.
40, we could say we spent 10 silver dollars each.
Is that what it cost? 40 for a 4-person?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is here in the. Wait a minute. Can't I share the things from the?
Oh, for the compendium?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So I can't share it as to your screens, but it is in the in this thing here in the compendium.
Okay. Oh yeah, a 2-person is a 4-person.
That's
Four
2 or
person,
4.
yeah.
A 2-person is 25. 4-person might be in the equipment book.
Yeah, in the Aventurian Armory it is.
Oh, great! Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. Garen would suggest that we get a tent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it because most gear has some kind of mechanical effect in the game too.
I'll carry it, he says.
I'm
I
gonna
think
grab.
you're volunteering.
Wasn't gonna strap it on your back.
Would probably not be a good idea.
Which one is strength? Is there a strength base?
There is. It's the far right one,
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
the light brown color.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah. Are you sure you really want to the one to be carrying it? I guess.
Are you volunteering, Colgrim?
Yeah, I guess I should be because. Because I can carry it without being encumbered.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. So I just put the tent in my equipment and I.
So for the tent, if your check on survival for building a campsite is a quality level 5 or more, it counts as good accommodation, granting +1 for the life points, arcane energy, and karma points you recover.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty nice.
Quality level 5 that means having a skill points of at least 15? Or no, at least 13.
Yeah. It is almost impossible for us to get quality level 5.
Oh, okay. So
But
it
you-
only benefits us later in the game.
You can spend fate points, though, to bump up your quality level. So if you really needed it, you could do that.
Got it. Okay.
It also provides protection from cold, reducing cold levels by 1, and they stack with those granted by woolen blanket and sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping bag lets you recover 7 silver dollars, and it protects you 1 from cold. And woolen blanket. This is stuff you'll want for the mountains for sure.
Yeah, we should definitely consider it.
So regular woolen blankets reduce cold levels by 1. Frey sheep woolen blankets reduce it by 2, and that stacks with tents, but not with sleeping bags, it seems. Those cost woolen blanket costs you 2 silver dollars. We should grab them.
Yeah, I think we should. So, woolen blanket. I'm getting one. Whoops.
Okay.
Let's see, equipment.
So, woolen blanket. 1. What is this? Oh, what do you have the weight there, Kev?
The weight. Oh, you actually might be able to drag and drop it from the
Oh,
compendium.
can you?
Yeah, if you look for the woolen blanket in the compendium, you might be able to drag and drop it onto your character sheet.
Oh, there's 2.
One of them is regular, one of them is Frey sheep. It's the regular one you're looking for.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yoink.
How do you see your carrying capacity? Oh, there. Okay, yeah. Perfect.
Got it.
Yes. And you said that was 2, right?
That was 2, yeah.
And how much was the sleeping bag? What was the cost?
Sleeping bag, I think, was 7 silver dollar.
Okay, I'm gonna just see how much it weighs too. Because that matters to me.
It is 4 pounds.
Okay, I'm just under my carrying capacity.
And
There
you
we
can
go.
like drop your bag before fight, right? Because like one of the sheet will automatically track what your I can't remember if the trait is encumbered or whatever, but by dropping it, you can untick them as being carried, and then it should adjust your what do you call it? Your penalty.
Okay, right.
Let's see here. Huh. Anything else you guys wish to pick up? Are you setting out?
I picked up some more provisions, so that's good.
Okay.
Just for a week. So we'll probably get to other places that I can top off as we go.
Okay.
And my share of the tent was 10, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So everyone is just to enter 10, and then everything is fine.
Okay. Anyone trained in plant lore?
Plant lore.
Yes, I've got 1 SP in it.
Okay. So you can actually look for edible plants while you're out and about as well.
Nice.
Anyone trained in hunting?
Nope. Guess not.
Animal lore
Animal lore?
and
is-
survival and tracking, but I do not see
See a hunting. Where's that?
hunting.
There's a fishing.
Oh, hold on. You know, hunting may be the action. Let me see what skills it uses. Hunting uses animal lore.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I have it.
Mm-hmm. And you've got a ranged weapon, don't you? I know you carry typically your longsword alone, but I can't remember. Do you have a...
I have a light crossbow, yes.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So yeah, you could also go hunting then
Nice.
to try and get food. All right. Then unless there's anything else, guys, we will cut through to the next morning with you guys heading out into towards Steinbrücken. Anything you guys are planning on, like marching order, or anyone taking any roles? There isn't like a travel rules part of the game.
I mean,
but...
I think our natural order would be Garen in front and Gorgrim in the back and Hallie in between us.
I would agree with that.
Unless Gorgrim wants to lead, I'm happy to take up the rear.
No. I think we can. As long as we travel next to the river, we can't lose our orientation, and that's the most important thing.
Okay. I need to write down. I think there are travel rules or weather rules in here.
Hope someone get Dave.
Exactly. I got to keep Dave happy with the weather conditions. Let me just double check here. Yep, there we go. Is that my core rules? Sorry for those listening at home. I'm trying to remind myself what. All right. So your first day of travel is uneventful. It is just another day on the road, I think. Why don't you give us a... Give me a sec here, I think. It might be not self-control. I think it might be body control. I'm thinking of wrong book. Wrong book. There we go. Ooh, sea battle. Guys, I have rules for sea battles.
Yeah, that is that makes a lot of sense. We should make use of that.
Forcing you out to sea.
Yeah, I hear there's some great pirate adventures.
Yes, that looks incredible. There's honestly a lot. The one that I oh boy, was it the Klingen der Nacht?
Yeah.
Oh, it's John. Tell me if you can guess why this one might appeal to me. It's set in an Arctic location. It happens to involve the Dark Elves as the main adversaries, and it involves a substantial amount of overland travel and survival stuff in those circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a few games we've played in.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I, started trying to learn the Dark Eye after only learning about that adventure, but boy, did it sure help with my level of interest. It looks like such a good adventure, too. I should say it looks like I've actually sat with Google Translate and read through the adventure, and it's really fucking cool. All right. Okay, it's not that. It's not that. It is... Let me check one more thing here, guys. Sorry.
Worries.
Okay. All right. Would you give us, guys, let's say feat of strength check it very easy.
All of us?
Yes, please.
Feat of strength. Just a strength roll?
There's an actual skill.
Yeah, skill under physical skills called feat of strength.
And at what challenging level?
Very easy, please.
Okay, very easy.
Okay. Oops. How'd everyone do?
I can't believe I did that.
Nice.
Yeah, so you all
You guys are
made it.
good.
Way.
What's the mood like the first day out from Angbar?
I think it's pretty jolly for Thalion. He doesn't quite know how to pace himself that well on the road, but he seems to be keeping up with it fairly well.
Yeah, definitely.
That may come back to bite him later, but for now he's enjoying the clean air, not as stuffy as the tower.
Okay. And this is, I think, the same road you would have passed coming this way, too, because you guys came through Steinbrücken when you were leaving Furdok. So, it's a comfortable first day of travel, and there is going to be a small roadside inn you'll be able to stay in for the first day. Second day, you're on your way to Steinbrücken, and this is the Imperial Road that you guys are traveling along to. So it, like, as far as roads go in the Midden Realm, this is going to be the best one. And I want to tell you what that's like. They are definitely more... the effort is to make it more accurate to medieval circumstances than, like, say, other fantasy games. Okay, so here we go. Not paths. Here we go. Realm roads. Crown roads. So these things are fully paved and wide enough for 4 vehicles to pass each other. 2 in other directions. They are well maintained and often feature roadside ditches that provide excellent drainage. They typically employ stable bridges to span small rivers, although travelers must still cross wide rivers by way of ferry. Ferry stations operate during daylight hours for a standard sum, and some workers operate overnight as well. Realm roads of this quality usually run straight and level. During construction, engineers move boulders, dig ravines and tunnels through hillsides, and cut entire swaths through forests if need be. Inns, which usually also serve as changing stations for dispatch messengers, are spaced 15 miles apart at most, which means you're probably passing like 2 roadside inns on your way out, like one shortly outside of Angbar for those who are kind of staying in, and then 2 further ones along. This is a pretty as civilized as your trip is likely to be. We'll start with John. John, would you give us a... Let's see here. Would you give us a D20 roll, please?
Okay. 3.
So, you guys are settling into your roadside inn for the first stop off, and what you find is that there's actually a priest of Parain, who is a demigod of travel. Let's see here.
It's like someone to get on our good side.
Yeah. So there is going to be a... You guys all have your fate points, so you're not going to get that back. But in addition to... Sorry, no, Parain is not a demigod, he's a god. Farming, healing, and herding. I am thinking of...
Avis, maybe?
Avis. Yep.
Yes.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking of. So it is Parain. It just so happens that, like, I guess there's like an early summer festival of some kind that happens to be, occurring here, so you guys get to enjoy the benefits of that. Otherwise, nothing else occurs that evening, and you guys can head off towards Steinbrücken the following day.
Well, you said so, god of travel?
Say again?
You said god of travel?
Parain. No, that Avis is the god of travel. Aves, okay. That's a demigod of travel and adventurers, who is the son of Fex and Raja. So Fex is the god of cunning and thieves and whatnot. Raja is the goddess of love and carnal passion. Yep, and beauty. Yeah. Yep. I think there is also a very explicit source book that is related to Raja in German only.
There's actually 2 of them.
Zwei Bücher.
Yeah. So there's one very notorious who left the community split in a way. People who thought it was cool, and others who thought it was a step too much.
What is the German word for vulgar?
Vulgar, you could say, but no, but you don't want rules regarding sexual activity or something like that. And well, they went there. Let me put it this way.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, there's a great deal of Okay, some of these are not. So I'm going to use this guy just for an illustration, but the condition of the road is obviously going to be much better than what is depicted here. Come on. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. So I want to have something that's going to be an actual road. This isn't taken from a Dark Eye sourcebook either. Everything else we've used thus far has been. There's a ton of amazing environmental art in the various source books too. I really love that. Stuff is not just like, you know, badass heroes and badass poses. Although the Book of Heroes and the Book of Helgen is all that. There's lots of great illustrations in that too. So, next day. It is early in the next day. Why don't you guys give us a perception check, please. Perception is a physical stat, a physical skill. I think challenging, please.
Oh, what? Excuse me?
Critical success. Beautiful.
How did that happen?
This is our first critical in this game. We've had
And somehow I rolled it.
Yeah. Jeff, in fairness,
the game's confused.
You're pretty good at rolling ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's trying to mess me up. It didn't realize that was a good thing in this game.
All right, so we got a success from Talion and a critical success. So I tell you, your quality level, though, Talion, is only 1. So let me tell you what you get from the crit, though. And Corgrim, in keeping with the proud tradition of dwarves on this channel, you've just tanked the perception check.
Even the dwarf I play in a different game doesn't get that good of a check.
So, Garen, you guys are making your way along, again, like massive highway. You've passed people on as you're going along here. There's one part of it where it seems as if like the trees have grown in quite thicker, like you're getting near one of the thicker forests in the region, and trees have grown in fairly close to the road. It still is incredibly well maintained, and it's well off from there. But as you're approaching, there's someone on the there's appears to be someone on the, like, in the middle of the road. The horse is down, and there's 2 people standing there who seem like they're either talking to them or trying to deal with this horse that has fallen. And as they're going along, you just sort of, something in your gut just feels like, whoa, and you look over at the copse of trees, and you can see a bunch of birds fly out. As if someone's there.
Yeah.
Talion, what you can see is it looks like something's happened to the horse, because these people have, like, there's a saddlebag over one shoulder. The way they're talking to this, one's on their knees and trying to, like, minister to the horse. Corgrim, I'm not sure you've seen the horse just yet. So.
Yeah.
You guys,
I'm just, yeah.
It's a distance of probably about 150 meters between you and where they are.
I'll get my allies to stop right away.
Something wrong?
Yes. This looks like a very classic bandit trap ahead.
If it's this close to Steinbrücke, and it's got to be bold. And I mean, there's only 2, as far as you can tell, there's only 2 up ahead. I think Garen with a crit, you'll also see that one of them, it's not unusual for them to travel with weapons necessarily, but one has a battle axe that they're trying to keep concealed underneath a robe, and the other one, you're fairly certain, when the horse moved its head a bit, you saw there was a crossbow that was set down near the thing. So
I'm certain this is a trap. I think we should go the long way around.
Yeah.
Unless you feel the need to deal with some bandits, Corgrim. I know you find them distasteful.
Yes, I do, but we will not rush head first into a trap.
Of course. Well, we should carefully make our way around then.
Okay.
It will see us, but
I'm not against it. And if they're just simple bandits, do you think a display of wizardry would make them change their minds?
do I know that? Would bandits be afraid of a wizard?
It's a good. You can give us a.
Is there a knowledge skill or a?
Give us a. I mean, that'd be a warfare. I think. Give us warfare
warfare.
at. Let's say very easy. You're going to know something about it, but it'll be a question of how much.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Quality 2.
Yeah. So, for one, it's not unlikely that depending on what he shows, what kind of skills that he demonstrates, it may be sufficient to scare them off, but it also may make him a target.
They may assume you have valuables.
There is an old saying in Aventuria that is carried over from another very popular in Germany RPG, Geek the Mage.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think one of you guys, Garen, maybe has actually a combat talent that is like a defensive. Oh, I'm thinking of Elwene. Elwene has that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing is, as far as numbers, for one, like, this is an Imperial road. If you were preying on every person that was going by, you're going to they're going to call out the local, military to go and deal with you, or they'll, hire adventurers to go and deal with you.
Right.
Caravans typically travel in greater numbers. Whatever's going on here, there's 2 you see here, and you can suspect there's more in the bushes. If they've got 1 horse with them, maybe they've got others as well. But they can't be that many, and they must be preying on small groups.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, my gut tells me we should deal with them, but our mission is of more importance. So
they are cowards.
Yes.
Yeah, and so behind the scenes, one of the things I love about this game is in every adversary entry, every monster entry or whatnot, they'll tell you when they escape, when they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get out of here." Mm-hmm. And with you may remember from our fight with the bear, this game has pain levels. As you hit increments of your weapons, the pain levels is what triggers for bandits to get the hell out of here. And it's not an awful lot.
Yeah, I guess we could try to just go around them so we wouldn't end up directly in front of the crossbow and attack them from behind, like ambush the ambushers.
Yep. There's also, there are ditches here too, right? Because it's a King's Road, so there's certainly a little furrow you can get yourself, if not undetected, at the very least give yourself some cover.
Yeah. I just would oppose charging. I mean, that would be...
Charging a crossbow rarely ends well, yeah.
Well, and I'd hate to lose our new tent and our silver thalers to these men.
Yeah.
So just to give a mechanical context too, the way that you avoid things for range attacks is typically you have to use dodge unless you've got a shield, and you take a penalty of -4 to that when you're using mechanical, like a bow or a crossbow, because they're so fucking quick. So it's easy to get tagged if you're not being smart to get, to close range.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't. We shouldn't go through the open to attack them. That's my whole point.
Garen's got a crossbow as well, though, for that matter.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you can see them, you can maybe just on the contrary, just draw them out by shooting at them or something like that.
Well, I'm all for avoiding them if you guys think that's, well, most of my spells require being closer.
Yeah. Or we could just shout at them and call them out. I mean, that will work, won't it?
I don't know about
Maybe.
that.
What do you guys think? I will say as well, because of the consequences of combat and because of the extensive length of non-combat skills, setting aside the fact that there is a neat way of them having when they'll escape, you also can use the game really does encourage role-playing or there isn't let's just kill them or let's just hurt them until they run away. That's not necessarily the only resolution for things.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I would say just let us go through the bushes and get closer to them, and then we'll see if they really want to fight if we are in striking distance.
We can also evaluate better what their capabilities are. Yeah.
You suggesting sneaking in?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Dalian looks down at his robes that are going to get caught on everything and is like, hey.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I don't think we are really sneaky. I just think we won't be targets if we go beside the road, and we could use cover to get closer.
I'll leave it to you two to decide.
Yeah. I think we should do that. So, Garen.
And I think
yes.
I want to double check something here, guys. I think we can use, if I remember correctly, I think it's I might be confusing this with Soulbound, but the way cumulative checks I think might work, we can use it. So one of the neat things that Soulbound does is for checks like this where there's like, you need to sneak up on a group or whatnot, rather than just like having everybody roll and see who failed or make the worst person roll, you do it as a group check, but you've only got so many attempts to get so many successes.
I do like that mechanic.
Yeah, so it means that the people who suck at it, they're probably not going to be doing anything. It's going to rely on the other adversaries, but it doesn't make for automatically whoever sucks at it is going to be the one who
right
does it. So I think, why don't we...
Yeah, let's try it out. Let's test out the...
Yeah.
I'm actually not good at stealth either, so...
Don't worry, guys. You got Korgrim to the notorious...
Yes. The one in the chainmail who's... that is the sneaky bastard, yes, I suppose.
So what you're saying is none of us are sneaky.
No, I didn't want to sneak. I want to just not be in the open.
Right.
That is. I mean, I at least have. I mean, I could roll stealth, so I could do that.
You are going to get a bonus of +3 for. +1 for ground being well suited for sneaking.
So easy, you mean?
Yeah, it'll be an easy task.
Okay.
And let me think here what we'll set the cumulative number at. Let's make it regular. So you have 7 checks you can make, guys. And you need a total of 10 quality levels out of that.
Yeah, so I started with a fail. That's good. But then again, maybe I could use a hero point to re-roll my blue die.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So you can re-roll whichever ones you like when you spend a hero fate point. And here's what a failed roll gives -1 to the next roll. So it means that it won't be easy any longer.
Yeah.
The roll under. You want to roll under, not over.
Correct. Yeah.
So I will just roll this one again. 16. So I just barely passed with 0 then.
Oh, because sorry, I was looking at John's result. And I'm like, why on earth are you re-rolling? Like that's the 6.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong one here.
Gun.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
Corgrim, how much did you succeed by?
So 0 skill points. So I just get
So
one quality level.
Okay, 1 roll, 1 success so far, or 1 quality level. Talion, you want to fate point that?
It's like see. Yeah, I'll try and reroll courage. It's the best chance of.
You could reroll both.
Yeah.
You can reroll whichever ones you want. Yep.
Does it cost 1 point each, or
No, 1 point total. 1 point you reroll whichever ones you want.
Alrighty.
And you failed intuition by 1 as well. Like you got a good chance, same chance or both those, intuition and courage.
So how do I reroll this one?
Go over to the red dice. You just click the red dice at easy, and then the green dice at easy.
Oh, on the sheet.
Yeah, right at the top.
Bonus is 1 because of the easy.
Correct.
Okay.
So you're good in that one, and the next one.
Green. Hey.
There you go. So that is that's 1 quality level. You guys have 2 points and 2 down. Garen. And remember, you can spend fate points to increase the quality level of your successes. Garen.
Right. Okay, here we go.
Check number 3.
And this is challenging, correct?
Easy.
Easy.
No one's failed yet, so.
Easy. Oh, yeah, okay. Here we go. Oh.
Huh. We had all the bad rolls.
Well, you only failed on intuition.
You want to fate that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's true. If you passed on the others, you actually don't need to. Yeah, you only failed in intuition, so you could just re-roll that green dice.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so fate point, and so do I put 1 in the bonus then because of easy, or yes? Oh.
Nice. So it's not a critical success. And the
No,
reason it's
but it's
asking for
still
confirmation is because when you're rolling only 1 dice, which is attribute checks or attacks, you do roll confirmation like you do in 3.5. You don't do because you're rolling 3 dice. We're looking for 2 1s in that, and you don't have to roll confirmation. But that's a success at 2 levels because you have 5 skill points in there. No, you have 0 skill points in there. Never mind. That's another 1.
So I guess, I mean, so just by numbers, so if we have 7 skills and I'm the only one who has skill points, then we can't do, I mean...
You can spend fate points
on
each roll.
So we have to spend fate points, you mean?
Well, for you guys, because nobody's very good at it.
Okay. Well, I'll spend a fate point to bump mine up to another success if I can do that now.
That is 4, yeah.
Okay.
There is also a partial success at 6. If you get 6, you'll get a partial success. And there's not a full success.
So we have 4 and we need 10, yes?
4, and you've rolled 3 so far, yeah, and you have 4 more rolls.
Yeah. So I guess we have to go for the partial success then.
We might make it. I mean, we got 4 now. If we succeed on every other one, just 1, we nailed it.
Okay. Who's going next?
Yeah, I think I have to go, or
Go
start
ahead,
again.
It's either this or fight him.
Well, this is also because you're sneaking up on them.
Again. That is
it's just
unfortunate.
Jody by 1. Shit.
Yeah, the problem is now I guess I have spent my fate point and I have only 1. So I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay. So with 4. That is now challenging for whoever's going next.
All right, well, I'll go next. I still got a fate point.
So as you guys are sneaking your way through these bushes, oh, mama.
Well, I'll spend a fate point and reroll those 2.
Okay.
Oh no.
There goes green. Made it.
Success.
There goes blue.
Oh no.
Okay. Still only -1, though. Garen?
All right, I'll try.
Hmm.
So what if you spend a fate point, it'll give you +1 success level, or it can.
Increase the quality level afterwards, yeah.
Okay, so this is challenging now.
Yeah,
Fail.
so it just shall not be. I mean, that's what the dice are telling us.
Well, I have fate points. Hold on.
You could re-roll. I mean, you only missed the agility and the courage by 1.
Yeah, but if I roll a 1 on either of these, it's a crit success.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So I got 2 chances. I got 2 5% rolls here. Here we go.
Yeah, I took the 2 nat 20s out of there for you, so.
Yeah, here we go. So, courage.
Success.
And agility.
There you go!
This game is bad. Brilliant.
I've said it before. Everyone has their game. I believe we found yours, Jeff. That's incredible.
Just roll 20 gets the memo that they've got the ones backwards on this thing, and they see this video. It's going to be 20s from here on out.
All right, so with a critical success, let's see here.
If user is Jeff and game is Dark Eye, reverse 20s.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Wow. So no penalties going forward, and you'll gain double what you normally get. So you'll get 2. If you want to spend another fate point, that'll be 3, which will bring you up to 7 in total.
Yes.
And then
I
we
will
got 3
do
more
it.
rolls to make.
Okay. You have one more roll
fate
left.
point left.
Yeah, so you definitely have you've already got yourself at a actually, let me think of this. Jeff, do you want to save yourself one of those fate points?
6 is the only metagaming wise, the fate point doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Although if Corgrim could Corgrim couldn't. Corgrim got a critical success on his check. He would get 2 more points in.
Yeah. No, 4.
2, because I think you've got only a training at 2, don't you?
Yeah, but 2 means that I could get 2 success levels. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I can get only 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Can we just let Jeff make the final roll?
what do you think?
Just because of my hilarious luck in this game, or what?
And the
No.
2 fate points left.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have no
Points
fate
matter.
points, so I think we should
Okay.
just take the partial success and be happy with that.
Well, yeah, let
Okay.
Jeff see if we can Jeff roll out.
You can roll it. It doesn't hurt us, does it?
No.
Oh, no. 220s would. Spoil it?
2 20s would be a crit fail, then the... or a botch, rather, not a crit fail. The cumulative check fails and all collected...
No, we're not risking it. No way.
That would make you lose all your quality levels thus far.
It doesn't matter what I roll. It wouldn't affect what's going to happen, would it?
It will. Where you are right now is you guys are going to have they'll be like, hey, what's over there? Kind of.
Oh, yeah, like a little partial success. But what would happen if I got more successes?
If you got more successes, if you got another crit, I think I'd let you guys you would sneak up and be wherever ideally you want to be when
Okay, we'll fish for one more crit. I mean, why not? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
We're at 1148. Let's fish for a crit. So it's still challenging then?
No, it's easy again because you you
'cause of the
succeeded.
crit. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. I mean, it's a success, but...
Do you
or it
want
could
to
be.
fate point
Yeah,
that?
Yeah,
I'm going to
roll
fate
those-
point it.
Yeah, roll those first.
Which one are you
Here we
going
go.
with? Actually,
Well, I'm gonna re-roll the courage.
Courage succeeded.
The intuition first.
Yeah, only intuition that you got to re-roll.
Yeah.
I mean, you can re-roll any of them, but
+1. Yeah, nice. This is hilarious.
Do you want to roll for one more? Do you want to roll that to either of those other two?
Yeah, I might as well roll the courage. The other one's a 2 already, so
Fish it.
here we go. Courage. All right. If this is a 1, this is the most hilarious rolling for Jeff in the history of Roll20. No.
Still a success,
Still
though.
a success, yeah.
I mean, you could re-roll the blue if you want.
Yeah, why not? It's fun. We're having fun.
Jeez.
No, just a burn.
Ah, all right.
It was fun while it lasted.
Now I think I can't remember. Here we go. Fate. Defense.
Yeah, I think they patched that exploit on the fly there, Jeff.
Yeah, he caught it. Oh, whoa. Were you guys paying attention here?
Oh, the result of the reroll is binding. So yeah, you are stuck with that one. All right, so where you guys are, you did get a partial success. So how? I think you're probably like maybe 20 meters away from these guys when you hear when they sort of, hey, what's that? And you can see that the one guy seems to have grabbed the crossbow up, and basically, I think you guys will have one. Did anyone draw any weapon? I mean, Korgrim, I think, is carrying his axe, but Garen, did you draw a sword or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's got his sword out.
Okay.
Yeah. My staff doubles walking stick, so.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think with because I rolled like a nat 20, one of my rerolls. I think it's Thalion's cloak that got caught on something and he yanked it forward, and that's where our partial success came in.
Nice. All right. Let's try to check and see how. Bush. I can't remember how surprise works in the game. Do you remember offhand, Ingolf?
Nope. I can. I mean, and if I guess, my initial guess is always wrong. So you just have to take the second one.
So what's the second thing you would think it would be then? Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest... they're not going to be able to add a D6 to their initiative. So why don't you guys click on... I know we're almost over, but let's just see where you guys...
So, surprised characters cannot defend?
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woof. So they're going to be surprised. Their initiative is a 13. So you guys go ahead and click on... I think you might need to click on your tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember or not. There you go. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, you rolled a 1 on your initiative, so it's back. So the Korgrim.
That is the most insane amount of ones today.
It's pretty incredible. All right. Stock Thug number 12 there. Got a 13. So, Garen or Korgrim, which of you would like to go first?
It doesn't matter. If Garen wants to go first, he can do.
So
sure,
I think
yeah.
I'm saying meters, but I think it's yards is the range in your, which is, I mean, to be honest, close enough to be the same thing, right?
I think GURPS is the only one who uses meters in English. Is it, or does it use yards?
Yeah, GURPS uses yards.
Oh, yeah, it uses yards, yeah.
gosh, I'm trying to think. There is Traveler uses meters because it's the future.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Palladium always offered both, which is nice as a Canadian. So, Talion, you're up first. I think you guys are probably ambush. Page 237 of the core book. Awesome. So you guys are probably about, let's say, 10 yards away from these guys, from where you are, and you have some cover around you as well.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, and up to your movement stat in yards. So, Talion, what are you doing? You have an action, a free action.
I'm going to do a spell.
What you doing?
I'm going to cast Armor Truths on myself and get myself some armor.
Love it. Okay.
I'm going to go for Protection 2.
And what's the casting time of it?
It says 1 combat round.
Oh, great. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, you can do it.
Yep.
So you don't need to upcast. Oh, you're upcasting for duration?
Oh, it says I just have to choose which one I want to do, and it costs a different amount of energy.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Go ahead.
Just challenging.
Cast your spell. Success.
No bonus.
Yeah, quality level 3 as well.
Oh, so it's going to last 9 minutes? 9 minutes.
What does your Armor Truths look like as you cast
it? He gestures out. He stabs his staff into the floor as soon as they see him. Staff goes in the ground. He gestures, and then the air ripples around him, and then falls down into his skin, and it starts to gleam in the light.
Okay. So that is, well, subtract whatever arcane energy you used.
Yep, I'm on it.
Garen, what are you doing?
Where's my movement distance? You said they're 20 yards away.
They are 10 yards from you guys.
Can I cross that distance?
What's your move?
Your
MOV.
MOV. Oh, 6. Oh, so it's 6 yards that I can move?
6. Yeah, 6 yards as an. So I think you can move your tactical movement. I think you can move your move. Yeah, as a free action, you can move a number of yards equal to your move stat, and then as an action, you can also make a move action. But that becomes your action then. And charge, I believe, is a combat talent. Yeah. Combat is a special maneuver.
Oh, okay. So really, no, I can't quite make it there.
No, you would not be able to make it there. You could do something else if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Or you want to try and like close the distance on this person.
Demand their surrender.
Yeah, I'll close the distance, and I will brandish my sword menacingly as if we are ready to to attack them. So
Okay.
to show we're not messing around.
All right. So you're suddenly running out. Korgrim, what are you doing?
I can charge, actually.
Nice.
Get him, dwarf.
Yeah. So if I can reach one of the opponents, I would do exactly that.
What's your move?
6.
6. Then you definitely can. That's 12. And he's not going to be able to make a defense because you are still catching him by surprise.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you tick charge, it should add the modifiers to whatever your skill is, and then you can just click on the first dice on the left for your weapon under combat.
Yeah, I will try that. So
I think charge gives you a -2. To
yes,
attack.
there is the charge. And the 1, yes.
Charge at 1, yeah.
Yeah. The X does not stay. If I tick it, I don't know why.
Let's see here.
Oh yes, yes. No,
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
so... you know what? You're in brawling right now. We need to put your, hold on, go to your equipment. And we need to put your, not the inventory, the equipment. We need to put that rock cleaver back in your hands.
Oh, yes.
Boom.
The sheet is so smart.
And then we go back.
Yeah,
There you go.
Good.
Now it's ready for you.
Yeah. So and I click on the left die, I suppose.
The left die, yeah, that's the first one. Come on. Solid hit. Nice. Go ahead and roll damage, the DP.
Yeah. So that's 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage. His armor. Does he have any armor? Let's dodge. No protection because he's dressed up like a civilian. So as fucking 12 points. As this massive axe cuts into this guy. He is going to panic. I'm assuming it's the guy who had the crossbow that you suddenly jumped out and got. He's going to panic and flee. So take charge off. Yeah. And then make another attack at -4. This will be a free strike you get on him. Because he's screaming and running away.
And that was a hit again, I suppose.
Yep. Go ahead and roll damage.
Another 11.
Jesus Christ.
Amazing.
He staggers away. He is very badly, like he's near collapse to the ground because of pain. I'm going to make a self-control check for the other guy. He actually succeeded.
Yeah. Does it mean he flees now for rational reasons and not irrational reasons?
I think it means that he's able to get up and like put some, what is it called? Is it withdraw? Hold on.
I think he brought his brown pants.
Oh, he's got to make it right. So you can make a weapon attack, and I have to make a body control check. I think that's how that works for disengaging from combat, from close combat.
So that would be Garen then, I suppose.
No, because you're the one who's engaged with him. Garen didn't actually. Oh, you did get to the guy.
He did.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Garen went after one, Dwarf went after the other.
Right, yes. Right. Okay, so he disengaged. Here we go. Okay, no, it's not a contested one. It's a body control with a penalty equal to the number of opponents within attack distance. Okay, that's cool. He's going to try and disengage from you. I actually succeeded. So he stumbles to his feet and he gets away from you, Garen, but he's only able to move 8 away. Talion, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm going to move 8 forward because that is my movement. And I see the guy running.
Yep.
And I'm going to try to, I think, petrify him.
Ooh.
But I'm going to upcast it.
What's the casting time of
2 rounds.
So you're going to upcast to do in 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Casting time, reduced time, and let's see if it gets him. Challenging.
Oh, his spirit is 1, so it'd be -1. Oh, it's his toughness that applies. His toughness is 1 as well.
Okay.
That's a fail anyway. You want to fate point that? Oh, we're going to fate points.
I'm out.
Okay, give us a reroll. We're actually past time.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have got one at the top of the hour, but we're
I think
quitting.
I just need to reroll the Constitution.
Okay.
Penalty -1.
Come on. Oh, exactly the same?
Yep.
Worse.
Worse, yeah.
Oh, that's an 18? Okay. Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Okay. I mean, you're trying to get it off, but I mean, this is... And I think is it the full cost that you lose for a failed spell?
think so.
Uh,
Double check.
Is this Talion's first combat?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean,
It has been many weeks since, though.
in the game, technically, chronologically in the game, it probably is. Right? Because it's his first...
Well, yeah, his like first combat encounter, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose.
So, all right, then, Garen, you're up next. What are you doing?
I'll move in and attack
Double
this
check
guy
that.
then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah. Where are you up? So, sword attack. Ooh.
That is a big hit. Oh, you got that. Remember, you got spell sword in your hand right now. Take that out. Put your long sword on.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
Don't worry about it. You hit. Just go ahead and...
Where is that? Oh, that's like on the page.
So
Change what you're
255.
holding.
on a failed John 258, you got to still pay the base AE and the AE for the first time interval if it's
So
yeah,
now if I click
Oh, yeah, there's no
damage-
upkeep, though. Okay, so full bars. Got it. There.
There we go.
that is a hit. Okay. 9.
TC. Did Ingolf say half it?
Yeah, it is. Usually it is half. So I mean, this
Okay,
spell
double
can be
check.
different, but
Yeah, this is page 258 of the core. If you try and count... Oh, half. Yeah, no, sorry. You're right, Ingolf. Half if you fail. If it's a sustainable one, you have to spend the full AE and half.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why. Sorry, I was doing a Cubicle 7 approach of reading the last sentence first.
Yeah, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was like, I paid half last time. What did I get it wrong? I don't remember.
Okay. And...
Because I failed a lot of spells last time.
all right, this...
Is that con?
I was trying to see if this guy's gonna... one of the really helpful things they do is they give you breakdowns of the... there it is. There's the life points. Fuck, I love this game. So 9... He's not quite ready to surrender yet.
Yeah.
So you've hit him. Korgrim, what are you doing?
yeah, I guess. I mean, I think my idea would be just to shout surrender, or you'll get an arrow in your back or something like that. Because I mean, I can't outrun him. They will be gone if I run after them. So
There is the guy who's engaged with Garen right now. So you could,
yes,
I guess...
yeah, but I think he moved 8, and I can only move 6. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you
I
can
wouldn't
charge
reach
again.
him.
You only need 4 yards in order to charge.
okay, yeah.
I mean, you
okay.
don't need to... If you want to... Here, tell us this. If you're going to charge, you know how to set it up to do the charge. Roll that. If you just want to intimidate, go to the skills and hit intimidate. And it'll be at easy.
Yeah, I think intimidation. I mean, we are not killers. We want to, at least momentarily, we are not. So let's see whether this works.
Okay.
And I'm quite intimidating most of the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 3. So here's what you see is the guy who's in pain. He drops to his knees and is struggling to put both hands up, but he's so badly hurt that he can't get the other one up. And he's like, I failed mine. So it's 3 quality levels. The guy who's fighting you, Garen, like he tries to get a weapon up. You get underneath it and cut him with your longsword. It's a bad hit. As soon as Korgrim shouts out to surrender, he's like, all right. And what you can see is while Talion in the distance, after about 10 seconds, there's a horse that goes bolting out of the wings, heading away from you guys across a field and out of the trees, followed shortly after by 2 more bandits. It seems like there's 3 who are waiting in there, and they're like, fuck it, we're going to leave these guys behind. So we'll see what happens with these surrendering bandits in 2 weeks' time. But first, everybody gets 5 adventure points.
Yeah.
So, then for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 4 of our The Dark Eye adventure. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the adventure, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I will say I think there's a free quick start for this on drive-through as well. I think it's like a pay what you want on it, and it is, where is it here? This guy right here. It has a number of, it's like 5 pre-gens in it as well. It's a pretty fun little, it's more combat oriented than I think what other things are, but if you want to check this game out for yourself, the complexity that I've had someone else ask last time about the complexity of it, especially when you're playing in a virtual tabletop, it's pretty much negated, and the sheets, at least in Roll20, are so good that they do a lot of the heavy lifting for some of the more busier parts of the rules. So but in addition, there's a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server where all of us are active, and we have a channel there dedicated to assorted games where I've talked about the Dark Eye recently, as well as a bunch of other channels for other campaigns we run on the channel, other games we run on the channel, virtual tabletop chat, GM discussion. There's a terrific, helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly community over there, and you're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs like The Dark Eye. I got I think I got all of my books from them. No, that's not true. One book I got from eBay because I couldn't find it there. But if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code Happy Muse Year. It's listed down below. It'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more, and that'll change as of April 15, 2025. If you're listening to this video after that time, come back to one of our more recent videos. We'll have our current discount code listed there. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart Dark Eye players. I don't know. I got to come up with a name for that. To our stalwart. You know what? Our stalwart Helgen. John, Ingolf, and Jeffrey, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. I'm having such a fun time running this game, so I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time to see what our heroes can learn from these banditos. But until then, for those listening home, thanks again for joining us. We hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are encountering in Aventuria. Until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.